Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Media Buff Podcast, the show about anything and everything media related. Ed here with just the boys, Matt and Omar. Say hello, fellas.
Hi, how is everybody doing?
Hello. It's been a while. Been a little
It's been a
busy.
while.
How about you? Staying cool out there? Drink
It's
drink water.
hard right now. It's getting warm in San Diego.
No, duh. Summer's almost starting.
Yeah, June
It,
gloom is officially over.
I hate it.
Yeah,
I liked it. I love June gloom.
summer starts in like what, 2 days?
No, I'm saying I hate summer.
Oh yeah, I'm not a fan of the heat. Like,
Here by my side in my summer, love last summer. If
yeah.
Jaron was
So
here, he would have known that. He would
yeah,
have
he
gotten that
would.
reference.
So end of the technically end of the month episode, which means that we're gonna talk about whatever the freak we would feel like. But since this month technically has 5 Sundays, we're gonna have a bonus episode. We don't know what we're gonna record yet, but we're gonna record something for that Sunday. So make sure you tune in for that because it probably be pretty good. We do our best work when we do not plan ahead.
I think that bonus
Um,
episode should just be Matt doing a bunch of random noises.
Or he can just rant about different topics that he's crazy about.
Lacuna Coil and freaking the Doors.
Not the door so much anymore.
that was like 20 years ago. Come
Dude,
on.
it was
I
20 years
moved
ago.
on.
2005. Yeah, 20 years ago. It's crazy.
God
Dude, when I look back at the like how long time has passed, I
damn.
I get a little depressed cuz like, "Oh my god, I've been alive for a really long time now. I'm
Yeah,
almost
but
40."
less than others. Like
That's true.
imagine the people who are like 75 and
That's true,
older.
yeah. I can only imagine the crap they remember if they remember anything.
To have dementia and Alzheimer's at that time.
Oh my goodness.
I
Yeah.
know, right?
Even now though, apparently it's not that bad, but we chances are we probably won't have to face those ordeals because we're gamers, and apparently that's a good way to keep our
Well,
mind sharp. Plus,
if I end up
Omar reads everything, so that'll keep his mind sharp.
well, if
Meh.
I end up with dementia, leave me be and let me have fun. Okay. If I want to think I'm Napoleon, let me believe that. As long as I'm not causing physical harm to myself or
No,
someone
Matt.
else.
Matt, if you end up getting diagnosed with dementia, I'm gonna put a bat suit in your closet.
I say we
So I
let him.
really believe I'm Batman. Okay.
Yeah,
I say we let him loose in a library.
like the dog.
There you go. For context of what long time ago Matt let a dog loose in a library.
It was an accident. I
It
opened the
was an
door.
accident.
It was. I opened the door and this little fucker just bolts right past me. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, well, I guess he wanted to learn. I,
Like it was
I was
random.
providing assistance. Okay.
Cute.
It was the most random day that I have witnessed because I was at the library by myself looking for books. Then, as soon as I finished checking out and was heading out, I see Matt and Jaron running through the door, chasing down this little Chihuahua thing. And the freaking the librarian lady, whatever the fuck, she's like, "You gotta take your dog out of here." Like, woman, it's not our dog. We're trying to take it out. So Jaron, I think it was Jaron, was it you, Matt, that you tried cornering it? It started running, and you know those the clear panels that like kind of barricade the door. The dog was barking at whoever was. I think it was Jaron. It was running, but turned its head backwards to snap at Jaron, and then it crashed into that glass wall. It was hilarious.
Nice.
And then
Good
they
times.
fucking
Good
just ran out.
times.
Yeah, but
Good
because
times.
I opened the door and under the circumstances of coincidence, I got blamed
You were the
for that little
catalyst.
fucker.
Well, we lived in City Heights at the
Do you
time. Of
guys
course, you can blame the white guy.
do you guys know whatever happened to that dog?
No,
No.
I think the owner was somewhere around or had just gotten loose from its house. That was the only time I
Oh.
ever saw it.
Oh, I hope it found his way back home. That's
Same
sorry,
here.
man. Yeah. All right,
We
so
did eventually get it out.
like I mentioned earlier, this is a random topic. So do you guys have anything you want to talk about? Anything specific media related? Like movies you saw, new albums, maybe a video game that you started playing?
I have a question. I have a question for you,
Questions?
fellas.
What's up? What's up?
Okay, so this is something I've been thinking about. All right, so you know how with comic books, especially Marvel and DC, they always add like multiverse stuff or time travel shenanigans to expand like the storytelling and
Damn it, Barry.
Right?
yeah, yeah, exactly that shit. Do you
Yeah.
think if Marvel and or DC refrained from using time travel and or multi universal um what's the word I'm looking for?
Concepts?
Yeah, there you go. Concepts. Do you think they could write an interesting story without that stuff, or do you feel like to have like a growing brand and be successful, they had to do that stuff? Because I feel like it's become oversaturated. Like, and this is what got me thinking about it. Okay, it's when what I forget it was either Crisis on Infinite Earth 3 or 4, where Kevin Conroy is voicing Batman from Batman the animated series, and his whole timeline gets wiped out.
Oh, I haven't seen the
Yeah.
movies yet.
Yeah,
That was a hard scene to watch.
Mm.
yeah, it was, but also it kind of made me mad because the Batman the animated series now in main continuity does not exist. That timeline does not exist, and they had so many cool and interesting characters from that timeline that they could have used, or that universe that they could have used, right?
Hmm.
But now they wiped it out. So just like when they made things interesting with the new 52 or 51, I forget what
The
it
new
was called.
52s.
52.
Yeah, the
52.
new 52, they now wiped that whole thing out using like time shenanigans and
Hmm.
or multi
Um,
universal eradication. And I and like Marvel does the same shit. So at this point, I think it's getting oversaturated, and so that's why I'm proposing the question: do you think they do this because they're out of ideas, or do you think that they do it under a necessity to bring new storylines?
It's probably
in
the latter. They probably do both, running out of ideas and new ways to make new continuities. Keep in mind, this didn't really start until around the 70s. They started doing multiverses. Before,
Mm-hmm.
it was one main timeline for every comic book story. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
if it was Spider Man, if it was the X Men, Superman, Batman, what have you, they all had one main storyline. It never branched out. It wasn't until they started wanting to make new what ifs that they started venturing like, oh, what if we do different timelines, different dimensions, time travel, interdimensional traveling, all that crap. That's when we started getting all that, and that gave the liberty to a lot of artists and writers to go crazy with it, and that's when we get the
Hmm.
birth of all these crazy new universe, all the Spider Verses, all the different X Men. You have the wild ones. You have even the different Batman. That like you have
Gotham by
this
Gaslight.
yeah, the
Yeah.
samurai Batman, the Jack the Ripper Batman, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it is saturated and it is too much, but it's really the only easy way to justify new stories because if they were to stick to the trope of like it's just what made timeline, it would get boring like really really fast,
Mm-hmm.
especially with readers nowadays. Like readers, I don't think readers would enjoy the comics of yesteryear
Mm-mm.
like the ones who are reading the stuff now, I don't think they would enjoy the comics of yesterday because I've read some of them and they're dry. There's a lot of dialogue. There is almost no action until like the third act, and there's a lot of exposition, a lot of groundwork. Like even the detective comics, early
Mm-hmm.
Batman comics, it was detective work. The reason he got the title of the greatest detective is because the dude was actually doing detective work in his comics, and they showed everything. Whether he was dusting for prints, where if he was using like a special eyewear to see the different spectrums in the light
Mm-hmm.
spectrum, so you can see prints and all that. Yeah, a lot of the stuff was cool, but it was dry. It was boring AF. It's like that
Okay.
episode of the late Mr. Kent when Clark wanted to solve the mystery as Clark Kent. He didn't want to do it as Superman because he actually wanted to get credit for something for once. It was
Yeah.
like that. Like it was a regular guy trying to do the work. Even Spider-Man comics were kind of like that, where Peter would do a lot of sleuthing. Like he hardly really got into a fight unless it was with a really big baddie or like I said earlier in the third act. And
Hmm.
then he would just do a lot of sleuthing, taking pictures, being undercover. He used to do a lot of stuff as Peter Parker, and they got rid of all that. Now it's just him in the suit running around.
Okay, I do have a counterpoint to what you just said, and that is like with the
Mm.
earlier stuff though, like doing the
Before you
detective
do, I
work.
want I want to hear what Omar wanted to say.
Okay.
What did you want to
Because
say?
yeah, because the whole point of the multiverse thing it originated because the writers, they were running out of ideas, and they wanted to try and create something very like exciting and memorable for the readers to keep on, because at the time, I believe comics were falling, like they were like falling in sales and all that. People were not buying them anymore because there was
Yeah.
some kind of like controversy or some shit like that. So that's one of the reasons why let's go with DC, because I don't know the multiverse for Marvel that well. With DC, when they created the Crisis on Infinite Earths saga, that was to clean up all the different stories of DC that didn't really match up properly because they were all part of different properties. They weren't. They were not officially under the DC banner. Just
Oh, you're talking about like ID Comics. I think they were what, not 100%,
Dark
but
Horse.
Dark Horse, Vertigo.
Yep.
Yeah, all those other comics, like where we get characters like Question, Captain Marvel / Shazam, and all those other like side characters that you don't see too often, but they did get prominence in the Justice League Unlimited series. But anyway, the multiverse idea was, well, first they destroyed the multiverse and tried. They created that whole single timeline, which is where Barry died, where Supergirl died. The Monitor was one of the ones like who helped cause the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then it was all in one universe. And then again, comic sales were starting to fall. So that's when, like how Ed was saying, they started branching out to different what if ideas by going through like alternate timelines, different dimensions, different time eras, taking the main staple characters into a different region or a different like sector of our history, whatever. And then they had the Infinite Crisis, where the multiverse was recreated again. It's the multiverse creation and destruction is all to keep fans going on and like to help new writers create something new to flex their abilities. It's not necessarily that they're running out of ideas, is that they have concepts to take a staple character and taking it into a different direction, but they don't want to fuck with what's already established as part of the main continuity. So that's where we get the Batman White Knight kind of thing, where Joker becomes good again. Like he becomes a detective. Right now they have this big thing called the Absolute Universe, where Darkseid recreates the entire universe, the entire multiverse in his his mind, his vision. And this one, Batman, Bruce Wayne's not rich. He's not a billionaire. He's an engineer. Like he's a civil engineer. His mom is still alive. His dad died. He still has kids. Like a lot of his main villains are his like best friends now, like his confidants. But Batman is also like pretty much a big ass brute, and he's a little bit more brutal.
Yeah.
And then we have like
that's where Absolute Batman came from. I've seen the pictures of him.
Yeah, I have not really read comics in a while, but I do try and keep up with like stories through YouTube videos. The whole concept of like, especially with the New 52, like you just mentioned, Matt, you do know how the New 52 started off, or what the whole like final product of the New 52 was, right?
Not offhand. I don't remember.
Okay, so the New 52 started off with 10 years being shaved off the entire DC universe.
Everybody got younger.
Everyone got younger. Everyone got more less experience. People were still trying to find each other, like find their place in the world, whatever the fuck. It turns out that it was Dr. Manhattan who messed with who created this whole universe by taking away 10 years and see how how the DC universe would
unfold,
adapt, and unfold. Like the reason why is because his universe of the Watchmen universe, constantly kept getting destroyed. And no matter what Manhattan did to try to change events to make sure it's always getting destroyed. So he used the DC universe as an experiment to figure out what is it with DC that no matter what you throw at it, it still thrives, like it still survives, it still succeeds. And Manhattan ends up finding out in the Doomsday Clock era or the story arc that it's because of Superman. Superman is a linchpin. He's a linchpin of hope or whatnot.
Yeah.
And because the DC universe always had a Superman in one form or another, there was always hope. And with that hope, the universe continued to survive. Even if Superman was not there physically, his ideals, his methodology, what he stood for, burned in the hearts of everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So Manhattan, at the end of the whole story arc, he theorized, okay, so in order for me to save my universe, I need to create Superman. I need to be a Superman. So he reincarnated himself into a Clark Kent type of character by getting adopted by some farm family. I forgot where, but and then that's how I haven't gotten that, but that's basically how it ended. So whether his Watchmen universe still survives or not, I don't know. But that's the whole reason that's behind all these multiverses.
Yeah.
Where with movies, it's a little bit about the same thing. They want to try and give they want to honor the actors and the franchises that came in the same universe that came before it, like how they did with Deadpool and Wolverine. Have you guys seen that one yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so how they got Elektra, how they got Blade, how they got freaking Channing Tatum in there as Gambit.
Mm-hmm.
These were all ways to honor the other movies, the other franchises that came before that helped gave way to the Marvel cinematic universe that it is right now. The X-Men franchise, Daredevil, all that stuff. It's not necessarily yes, it is a cash cow.
Yeah.
It's an easy cash grab, yes, but again, it gives the directors a chance to flex their creativity by creating, not without necessarily like recreating the wheel, but more like adding new functions to said wheel to
Mm-hmm.
make it their own identity. That's the best. That's the easiest way I could describe it. But going back to DC, how the Flash movie connected all the old DC properties, even the ones that never got fully made, like the Tim
Yeah.
Burton Superman movie with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
It was all a way to honor those that came before. So, the whole these things walked so that we could run, or some shit.
Yeah. They
Mhm.
walk so we can run.
Yeah, that's what in my mind, that's exactly what this is. And since fans love that, like everybody loves an Easter egg. Everyone loves like a callback to something that they grew up watching. I loved when they brought like all these little things from the Flash movie
Yeah.
from the original Batman. You seen the
Mm-hmm.
original freaking Batmobile?
Yeah. Quotes.
Yeah.
The way he acts, the way he talks.
And then watching Deadpool and Wolverine, seeing freaking Blade, Wesley Snipes as
Hell
Blade.
yeah.
Yes. The only
You
thing
know
I hate is
everybody
that
in
he
the
didn't.
theater went crazy.
Yeah, I just did not like that they didn't give him his sword in that movie.
I was mad about
Uh,
that too. It's like, where's the sword?
but
He doesn't need it.
I know
Get a kukri.
I got his pig stick.
his pig sticker, boom.
You're a creep. You're a creep stick.
And it's funny because that actor Donald Logue,
Yeah, I
plays
love him, man.
he plays Harvey Bullock in the Gotham
Yes,
TV series.
yes, he does. He is Harvey Bullock in that one. I love him, man.
But
He's awesome.
that's also a thing that I really like. That there have been actors that have played superheroes or characters in both comic universe, in both Marvel and in
And
DC.
DC, yeah.
Michael Keaton was Batman,
Hell
obviously,
yeah.
but he was also the Vulture in the Spider-Man series.
That's true. Yeah, he was a Vulture.
Freaking, again, Ben Affleck was Batman, but he was also Daredevil.
That's true. Yeah.
Donald Logue was that vampire dude freaking in Blade, and he was Harvey Bullock.
Yeah. Yeah.
And didn't Christian Bale come out in one of the movies too?
Christian Bale was Batman, and in a Marvel
Thor.
movie, he was the guy who wanted to kill Thor.
Yeah,
Uh,
Thor, Grodd, or Gore.
Grog, or Gorg, or something like that. He wanted to
Yes,
kill.
I
He
haven't seen
wanted to
that
kill
one yet.
Thor.
he became the God Killer.
There
When,
you
he,
go.
when, he, when he got like the dark sword or whatever
Yeah.
the fuck it's called, the God killing sword, he became
Mhm.
the God Killer.
Yeah, and then I
Yeah,
mean,
Christian Bale's fucking acting in that movie. He carried that movie.
yeah,
I
he
haven't
did.
seen that one yet.
And they could have done so much better if they had let him portray the character the way it is in the comic book. But
Mhm.
no, they had to turn it down because they didn't want him stealing the spotlight. He still stole the spotlight, but I
I
mean,
know he did. That's
I
the
don't care.
But
I
ironic
didn't
part.
care. It wasn't that good of a movie.
but yeah,
Eh,
for me,
Eh.
multiverses, it's kind of a way to like say thank you to the fans that came before, so that they could give birth to these new IPs, these new ideas, these new stories to new readers, to new viewers, to new audiences, to new fans, while also giving them interest, piquing the new fans interest into going back into what they missed in the past to see where it all began, where it all started. It's kind of like a blueprint going through the history book of comics, the encyclopedias of whatnot, a
Mm-hmm.
timeline of events, and you can see how it all breaks apart, where it comes together, where you can. It's just like an Easter egg hunt, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as I said, do have a counterpoint what to Ed said, and kind of ties into what Omar just said too. Like when it comes to like the old, like to the stories before, like the multiverse and uh time shenanigans.
Before it got crazy.
Yeah, before it got crazy,
Damn it, Barry!
you could create. It was up to the writers to make the dialogue interesting. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
because
To have really good dialogue.
there's been plenty of books, comic books, movies, and TV shows that I have consumed, and there not be any action at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was still super engaging because of the dialogue. It was written really well, and the characters, you felt for these characters, so they drew you in, and you wanted to know what happened to them. So with the dryness and things like that, that's the writer's fault for not having creative dialogue, for bringing in the viewer.
Well, I mean, comparing today's writers to the writers from yesteryears, keep in mind, look at everything the writers from today have to work with versus the ones that have nothing to work, that had almost nothing to work. Everything had to be fresh and brand new. As whereas to the writers from now, they have so much to take from that they convolute it and they get, we get what we get.
They tried to do
Yeah,
too much
They tried,
without
yeah, they tried to
jamming
do
it.
too much. Whereas the guys from before, they had one plot point, one story, and one main focus of the hero, and that's all it had. You had to do to make a great story, and people loved it. But that's why I say readers from today probably wouldn't like the comic books from before because it was a straightforward story. Like 90% of the time, it didn't deviate. You hardly ever had like twists, but it was still good because they did a good job at writing them. So yeah, like just the writers from now, just I don't know. I guess they're not as good. I mean, there's a couple out there that are still pretty good. They've had some stories where they focused on the characters' personal abilities, whereas to their super abilities, and you get some pretty interesting stories.
Yeah, because I would like to see I would like to read a comic or a story arc where Batman or Bruce Wayne is just doing everything as Bruce Wayne, but using his know-how without the gadgets. Granted, there was, I don't know if it's still ongoing, there is a story arc where Batman or Bruce Wayne loses all of his funding, like all his entire funding whatsoever.
Yeah,
And
he like goes broke or something.
yeah, someone steals his money or something, like say his
Mm-hmm.
information, all that shit. Anyway,
fraud,
no,
identity theft.
it was one of the new supervillains that they created, and it sounds like a very interesting story. So he's working out of one of his like backup bat caves that's in the city, and he's just working with an old suit, handmade gadgets that he can only do with like stuff that he could get at a store or some shit, and
Mm-hmm.
just using his bare intellect and his bare like his physical prowess and like mental prowess without the money, without the gadgets, and it's still hard work, but he's doing it. So it's like a throwback to the original 1930s Batman when he first came out, and he was just doing the actual legwork without the use of technology.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to see more of that, especially with like freaking Dick and Tim, because Tim is he's on par with on par, if not better, the detective as Bruce Wayne, and Bruce Wayne
Mm-hmm.
has said that himself. Batman has said that Tim Drake Robin, Red Robin, is better as a detective than he is,
Mm-hmm.
and that freaking Dick Grayson, Nightwing, is much more athletic and more agile,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
that
he's a
Yeah, but
he's
Bruce hits harder.
yeah, he does. Well, I mean, have you seen his bulk?
yeah.
Then again, I also remember in one of the universes. Oh no, yeah. Going back to the whole multiverse thing. So in Earth 2, where we get the old Superman with the silver sideburns,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
or in his
And he gets
universe.
that black suit with the silver S on it.
No. That's modern Superman after he gets revived from his death by Doomsday.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, but you're kind of close because this older Superman, he has a black symbol outlined in red, but he still has the traditional suit.
Okay.
This Superman is the Golden Age Superman, the one that first started it all.
So the one that had no uh no weaknesses.
Basically, yeah, that.
So the one that had tune power. Yeah, he had tune powers. Like
Basically, yeah,
what?
that's the Golden Age Superman. That's the
Okay.
one with the silver side. Anyway, in his universe, everything, I think his universe was destroyed. He was saved with Lois and Earth 3 Alexander Luthor, and then Earth Prime Superboy Prime. But in his
Isn't Superboy Prime a villain?
yeah, this was before he became full villain.
Oh, okay.
This is during the Infinite Crisis graphic novel.
All
So
right.
in Earth 2 Superman, his planet, his Earth, his universe was destroyed because it got so corrupted, so evil. When he was confronting modern, like Earth 1 Batman, they're having an argument. Think of the Justice Lord's Batman episode.
Mm-hmm.
They were
Yeah, I
having,
remember.
yeah, they were having an argument of morality and whatnot. How Superman was saying that he needs to do what he needs to do in order to save Earth 1 universe from destroying itself from the evil, because everybody's all evil and everybody's like diseased or some shit like that. And then Batman confronts him and is like, "And what about Dick? Was he a black mark in your history or in your universe?" Talking about Nightwing, by the way, for viewers who
Yeah.
don't understand. Nightwing, and he's like, "What about Nightwing? What about him?" Because in most universes, Nightwing has always been pure. Dick Grayson has always been like he's basically the Batman of or he's another symbol of hope, basically,
Mm-hmm.
like Superman.
Yeah.
He's someone with a good morality who he has the strength of Batman, but the morality of Superman. So he's got the best of that. And then that's when Earth 2 Superman is like, no, Nightwing, he was a good person. He was really good to the very end. And that's when, yeah. Anyway, I think I got off course, but
A little bit.
yeah, that's when Earth 2 Superman joined Batman and his people to stopping Superboy Prime and all that from the destruction of the multiverse again.
Mm-hmm.
But it's stuff like that that kind of like adds to the drama of these multiversal comics and stuff like that.
It does, and I don't entirely hate it. It's just like I said, I believe it's become oversaturated. So
Oh, even Power Rangers is doing the multiverse now.
Yeah,
yeah, it just be.
they went crazy with that one too.
But yeah, see, that's the other thing too. It's just not just like DC and Marvel that does it. It's like you see a lot of this stuff pour into other type of media
Well,
and
at least
storytelling. So I
I mean,
think
fuck, Dragon Ball is doing it too,
They've been doing
Dragon Ball. Yeah.
it.
and actually Gundam is starting to do it too.
Yeah.
No, no, I haven't finished watching it, but from the spoilers on Facebook, apparently the new series that's airing right now, Gundam G-Quacks,
Mm-hmm.
They
that
stuck quack.
yeah, that is apparently an alternate version of the UC Century or
Yeah.
the UC timeline. So
Yeah.
instead of Amuro getting the Gundam from the very beginning, it was
Char.
Char.
Mm-hmm.
So Char steals the Gundam. Zeon wins the 1 year war,
Mm-hmm.
and then all the tech that Zeon would have made is now based off the Gundam. So their tech is now Gundam based.
Yeah.
But apparently, there's been some kind of multiversal shenanigans going on that I've yet to see because I'm waiting for the full series to finish airing before I watch it.
I only watched up to the 4th episode. It's a hard watch, man.
I've only seen the second up to the second episode.
Like every I'm getting so sick and tired of having children as protagonists in these shows, man. I'm getting sick and tired of that. If I see another
that's how
kid,
y'all started off.
I know. If I see another kid piloting a giant death machine, I'm gonna commit child abuse.
Who's your favorite pilot?
Lock On. He's the only adult in the entire franchise.
No, he's not.
Probably the only one that can drink.
No, there's more adults in there.
No, I know. I'm just saying he's still my favorite though.
Yeah, but he's barely an adult. He's only like 23.
That's still considered an adult though, compared to like a little 15-year-old crying about his mommy all the time, and then another 11-year-old thinking he's a computer. And then you have the other one who's insane and likes to kill just for the fun of killing because his best friend tells him to do it. Ah, Gundam. Gundam. Where everybody likes to kill everyone.
Get in the cockpit, Shinji.
Yeah.
Oh, that's also another thing. The mech designs in that new series is the same mecha designer who did the Evangelion designs, which is
Yeah, you could definitely see the influence in it.
why I don't really like it very much either, because I'm not a big fan of the Evangelion designs.
I'm not a fan of them either. Like honestly, I rewatched the series and I'm like, why was this a good show?
I couldn't get past like maybe episodes 3 or 4.
Yeah, man, I forgot how annoying that kid was. Ugh. Again with the child protagonists.
And he had major issues.
He had massive issues, especially when he found out about what's her name. Not to mention that his handler secretly wanted to bang him.
Yep.
That show had some pretty bad messages. And we were watching that in our early teens.
Now we just need to see. We just need more ghost stories.
That too, yeah. That would be cool. But yeah. Anybody see any good movies lately, or any movies at all lately?
I saw. Let's see. In order, I saw Minecraft. I saw Lilo and Stitch.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
saw Karate Kid.
Oh yeah, that's out already. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. I still need to go see Ballerina.
Man, if you folks haven't seen the review I did for that one, please check it out. It's not that it was a bad movie. It's just like it's just another John Wick film, and we don't need another John Wick film. We need something new and innovative.
I mean,
That's
you
just what
got
it
to
is.
understand that it is part of the John Wick universe, and she is part of the John Wick's clan. So it's
Yeah.
obviously, of course, it's going to feel very similar.
Yeah.
Whereas with the one with Donnie Yen, that's probably going to be different because it's going to be more
Mhm.
focused on his more hit.
See,
Maybe
that
before
one
he got
I'm
blind.
looking forward to. That one I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
But I was looking forward to this one too, and I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah, see, we talked about this where franchise might get stale.
It did get stale. But I
It
feel
came
like
out with-
it'll do. I feel like it'll do better as a TV series. If they just convert it to a TV series, I feel they'll get better.
Well, I feel
Especially
like
if they like answer a bunch of the questions that are left out in all of the movies.
nah, answer the questions yourselves. Come up with your own plot for those answers.
You know what
And
they need to do?
Yeah.
With it's set in the John Wick universe.
Uh-huh.
They need to create an MMO RPG
Oh, that'd be cool.
where you could the home base is going to be the Continental. You could pick,
Uh-huh.
you could create your own assassin, and you could
Yeah.
you
Take
could choose
contracts.
your own style. And then obviously you're gonna have to get the gold. You're gonna have to follow the rules of the Continental, the high table, all that.
Yeah, and take contracts here and there. That'd be fun.
The thing is, though, like when you create a franchise as great as this, that it shouldn't have been a franchise to begin with because the movie was just like a one-off originally.
It was the original one-off, yeah.
Remember how much I tried to force you guys to watch the first movie with me?
Yeah.
yeah, you wouldn't shut up.
Yeah, because I saw it. I'm like, oh my god! And then like, guys, you need to go watch this movie again. And you're like, what movie is it? It's freaking Keanu Reeves back. That's all you need to know.
Uh-huh. Guess
like,
who's back?
But
Keanu's
no,
back.
like, in a franchise like that, like it has where it starts you off in the middle of it all, maybe even towards the end of whatever was created. There's so much history that they could pull from that to create so many different shows, movies, books, stories.
There's a lot of lore and unanswered questions there. You can make an entire massive plethora of
the
comic books.
The only problem is that it is the execution. If it's executed correctly, then you will have it a forever franchise. That'll be amazing.
True. And that's why I think it just won't do well as a movie franchise anymore. Maybe you have a movie here and there, kind of like the Dragon Ball movies.
Yeah.
Where it's a one-off and it's about one singular character and the character either dies or never comes back. Like when Pycon came in, or was it Pycon?
Yeah, Pycon during the Frisian Reborn movie.
That one was a good one. That was a good one. And then you have who's the guy with the ocarina?
Oh, that's
Pilaf.
No, that's Tapion.
Tapion, there you go.
Yeah, but that movie is non-canon.
The one with Tapion with Broly coming back?
No, it wasn't Broly. It was freaking Dragon.
Oh yeah, it was a giant dragon that he like contained within his body. I remember
The
Yeah,
thing,
that was a pretty
Matt,
good movie.
all the movies, all the
I
Dragon
thought
Ball
it was canon
movies.
because that's how
Nope.
he gets his sword. Isn't that how he gets his sword?
it's
No.
one of the ways Trunks gets the sword.
Okay.
Yeah, but all those movies, for the most part, are non-canon. The
Uh,
only
uh,
movie that
uh.
became canon was Resurrection F. Now, the history of Trunks, that movie could possibly be canon.
It
Remember,
is
Matt,
canon. Yeah.
Dragon Ball it has already introduced multiverse
Yeah, and it's a
with
bitch.
during the Cell Saga. So those
Multiverse is a
is a
bitch.
bitch. So those Dragon Ball movies can be canon in one
Yeah.
universe or another.
True.
Yeah, but the late and great Toriyama said those are not canon. He's never going to make it canon. So all the multiversal stuff it's a nice thought, but the creator himself said no.
Yeah, well, he's
Well,
gone.
as Team Four
Rest his
Star once
soul.
said, multiverse theory is a
It
bitch.
is a bitch.
Well, for now they're not canon. If what's the company? Toy Animation.
Toei, yeah.
Toy.
Yeah, Toei Animation. If they decide to make those canon, it would make a lot of things confusing, and that's not needed.
Yeah, because going back to the Fusion Reborn movie, that's where Gogeta first came out.
Heck
But
yeah.
Yeah,
canonically, Gogeta first came out in the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
Where
which is a
Broly first came.
fantastic film.
I'm okay with that one.
And
I'm
I
okay with that
called it.
one.
I knew Gogeta was going to be introduced in that movie.
I mean, I
As
feel
soon as,
like it was the only option they should have gone with, you know?
yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think they would have ended it like they did in the other one. And like, they wanted Broly to become a character in
Mhm.
this one, not a one-off. And I love what they did with him. I like what they did with him. That they gave him an actual
Backstory
personality
Yeah.
and
and a
a
backstory.
personality
Kakarot!
instead of him just being pissed
Kakarot!
off because Kakarot was crying the whole time.
But that's so
He's so
dumb.
cool.
But
But
he's
that's
so
so
cool.
dumb.
But that's so dumb. How much juice did he drink? How many
How many
push-ups?
push-ups?
Good times. Watch Team 4 Star, folks. It's a good channel.
Oh, yeah.
They're, they've
You
since
would be.
wrapped up the Dragon Ball franchise,
I
but
am hilarious and you will quote everything I say.
dude, we quote that show a lot.
But Doc,
No,
I'm about to
none
turn
of
left and I
that.
don't want to hit anyone with
Shame
my
on you.
dick.
Bitch, I do what I want.
Renegade for life. Good times, good times.
No, I just don't like. Well, I wish that they could for Gogeta's canonical design. They would have kept him with the navy blue and orange vest rather than keeping it like Gotenks where it's black and. Oh no, Gogeta had the black and orange, whereas Gotenks had the navy blue and the yellow.
He had the yellow. Yeah.
Because in the Broly movie, they changed it to match Gotenks as
Yeah, I wasn't too keen about that one because I was like, he looks different. But it's
Meh.
crazy because even some of the figures that they're releasing now of Gogeta, it's the old school design. It's not the one that they
they're
have
probably
for the
reprints then.
Most likely. I know they get like Dragon Ball figures. They're coming out in waves, so
Mm-hmm.
their quality is kind of dropped.
They're like, oh, we're popular again. Hey, buddy, get the toys from storage.
They were never
Basically.
they were never not popular. I think it was mostly just like the fans, the super fans were the ones that stuck with it, where everybody else just got like, I'm moving on to the next big anime.
Yeah.
You know, like you can blame Hunter x Hunter for that, or Demon
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Souls and Yu-Gi-Oh, yeah. And I guess My Hero
After
or
Dragon Ball, it was
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Naruto and Bleach.
There you go. That's true. Yeah, the new big three according to a lot of
Naruto,
people. I'm
Naruto,
not
Bleach,
saying that.
and
I'm not saying that. I'm saying people have said that,
Yeah,
and
but
I'm
here's
like,
the
those are
thing.
fighting words.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Shonen Jump magazine, which they're the ones that said, "Hey, this is the big three, the official authors that write these mangas and
Yeah,
then turn it into an anime."
One
One
Piece,
Piece,
Naruto,
Naruto, and Bleach
Bleach.
are the one and only big three. So all this like new big three and whatever else, all
Well, it's
these.
just people on Reddit saying that. Like, go
I
on
know
Reddit.
it's the kids
Dude,
of
the
today.
forums, the forums for those
It's like a
things.
new generation. You know that they're going to create a new
That's
generation.
true.
That
Because the grandfather, father, son kind of thing. It's
Yeah.
going to keep going
yeah.
down the generation. So
You
Well,
know.
nothing's official until the creators of the stories make it official. If like the creators of like the newer anime came out and said, "Hey, this is going to be the new big three," or whatever the case may be, whatever catchy marketing name they want to use, um, if they come out and say, "Hey, this is what it's going to be," then I can accept it. But the fans, then it's just fan base. That's all it is. Just like you have fan base stories. It doesn't count unless the creators, the ones who own the intellectual properties, say, "Hey, this is what we're going to call this."
Yeah, but also keep in mind their fan base is growing while ours is dwindling. The fans of the yesteryears is kind of a handful at
Yeah,
this
but
point.
here's the thing about the fans of yesteryear: we're more consistent, and like once we like actually like something, we stick with it. Unlike the fans of today, they have no loyalty.
It's not so much loyalty as that they have options now. They can like more than one thing nowadays.
We had options, and
Compared to
uh,
now, though, you had three to
yeah,
pick from back in the day, maybe five, because if you throw Dragon Ball and
no, you had Roni Kenshin, you had
and
Dragon
Ronin in
Ball,
there.
you had Astro Boy, you had Cowboy Bebop, Trigun,
Yeah, that's
Outlaw
true.
Star, Yu
Matt,
The
we're
Yu
Big
talking about
O,
the
Hakusho.
the
Matt, we're
Big
talking about
O.
like before Toonami.
True.
So
That's
we had
true. This is all thanks to Tsunami, by the way.
yeah,
Yeah.
we had to catch it from different channels like Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball with the Ocean dub, Dragon Ball Z with the Ocean dub.
Which are horrible.
Yeah.
What were the other ones?
Watch it with the
Friggin' Speed
Spanish
Racer.
dub.
Hey,
I
the Spanish dub is awesome.
Yeah.
That's like my
love it
second
too. I'm just
favorite
saying,
one.
yeah.
Next to the American dub, the Spanish dub is awesome.
And then we
I
also had Speed Racer, like
uh-huh.
freaking old anime that none of us knew was officially anime. And
Tekkamon Blade,
we thought that it was just like freaking.
Guyver.
Oh my god,
I still watch Guyver. It's on
It,
YouTube, so
it,
I watch it
uh,
every now and then. I
Back
love
in the
that show.
day, if you had stars, they would play like Fist of North Star,
Yeah, I
Shadow
remember.
Skill, and a couple, and I think JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah.
that
Uh,
wasn't JoJo's wasn't really popular here in the States until like in the last 10 years or
I
something.
feel like
yeah,
influence
I'm talking
made
about like when
JoJo
we were
popular.
kids, like we were in
I
elementary.
I am too,
Mm.
but that's what I'm saying. On Stars Action Channel, they played like not so popular but extremely violent that no kid should be watching type of anime. That's where I found Vampire Hunter D.
Same.
Mm.
Oh, that's also where I found X.
Oh yeah,
That
I remember
too.
that.
X 1999. That anime
Yeah.
was freaking nuts. What
But
the movie, and then I found the anime
mhm,
afterwards. The movie, everybody dies.
Oh, that's
yeah,
true. I forgot about the movie.
but first time I ever saw Fist of the
Man,
North
and we
Star,
watched
I
that
just
when we
see
were like
someone
8 and 10,
poking and
dude. That's
blow up. I'm
crazy.
like, what?
Yeah. And then the
You are
first time we
already
watch
dead.
Akira, and then the first time we watch Akira with everybody blowing up,
Mm-hmm.
or Ghost in the Shell,
Yeah.
all the
So
dead robots.
I mean, yeah, people have way more variety and option nowadays,
Hmm.
but we had options back in the day as well. That's
It's
all
just
I'm
that
saying.
nowadays it's a lot easier to find because they're all
True.
collectively
The
like they're all
accessibility is a lot
collected.
easier.
Yeah, they're all collected in
Yeah,
different streaming sites like Crunchyroll, Hulu, Netflix, Amazon, even
Tubi.
Yeah.
Tubi. Tubi has a lot of good hits, and
Dude,
for
Yeah,
Tubi,
I
that
found
streaming
Kite
service
on
is
Tubi,
top
dude.
top notch, dude. Like
they're
hats off to them.
Oh, speaking of Tubi, the cool thing about them, they have like these super obscure but awesome horror movies that are like
mm,
B-rated.
They
Like,
have that one we saw at your place that one time, Matt. The hillbilly chainsaw one.
uh, Tail and Duck versus Evil. That movie's
Yeah, they
fucking
have. I saw
awesome.
it there. I was like, oh, let's watch it.
But
So bad, it's good.
John was telling me about this movie with this guy who's a sonographer. Is that the people that
Oh, the
type
ones
in
that the
in
lie
the
detector
court?
guys.
No, in court.
Oh,
They
stenographer.
stenographer. Yeah, I forgot who the actor was that plays him.
I think I know which one you're talking about, Matt.
And the guy becomes like a like becomes like he pretty much is like becomes like a Dexter. Like he becomes a
Yeah.
serial killer that just I haven't watched it yet, but that's what John told me. Like that does sound interesting. And then also there's another one he told me about. I think it's called Mayhem, and it has Margot Robbie and Steve. What's his last name? Glenn or Mark from Invincible. What's his
Yeah.
last name?
Uh, Steven Chan, I think.
No, Steve Young.
Steve Young.
Steve
That's
Young.
who
Yeah.
it is. They're in this movie. It's there's like this like infection that goes around and people are aware of it, and it makes you, and what it does, it takes your desires and it cranks it up to like 20. So if you like if you feel like I don't know, if you like feel like slapping someone, this disease will make it so irresistible that you have to do it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it takes away your
Inhibition.
yeah, that's exactly what it does.
I
And
think I know which
so
one you're talking about.
like Margot Robbie and Steve Young, they go through this their place of work and start killing like the higher ups and stuff. And
Yeah.
it's like, do they have the disease or not, kind of thing.
All right. Yeah. This was from back from 2017. I think I saw that one.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's definitely an interesting plot to the movie. Because the entire time you are wondering if they have the disease or if they're straight up just purging everybody.
yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like it has that same feel to it as like Total Recall. Like, is he in the chair? Is he not in the chair the whole time? You know what I mean?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, a lot of people will have that have made that
Discussion.
theory that the entire time Quaid was in the chair at the end of the film.
Or with Patrick Bateman in American Psycho.
That's true,
Was it
yeah.
all in his head, or did he actually go and butcher all those people?
Mm-hmm.
Now, man, that's some like awesome storytelling. Like, if you don't know what actually happened, like you witness everything and it makes sense from one perspective, but then you're like, well, you know,
Same
this
thing with
happened.
the movie The Thing at the end, and people are still to this day people still speculate whether what's his name was the Thing or
Kurt
not.
Russell or the
Yeah,
other guy,
yeah.
the only two survived.
Yeah, well, who was the Thing at the end?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's just good storytelling. It leaves you questioning everything. Like it does. Like,
And opens up for long discussions of like what
yeah. Just go
happened.
on Reddit. People on Reddit still be talking about that.
Like we've had these discussions multiple times, like, and we still can't
Yeah,
figure it out. Like
we're
I
still
miss that
divided.
kind of storytelling, dude. I honestly do.
Yeah, it is kind of rare to see stuff like that nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Like M. Night used to be the king of the plot twist,
Freaking
but
what was it? Inception.
oh yeah.
Where the ending you don't know if it's a dream or real life.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, did you guys know that Dexter's coming out with a new series?
I saw that.
Yeah.
It looks like it's gonna be promising.
Yeah, because all right, so this is gonna be the fourth Dexter series for those who don't know. There's the original,
Which
there's
it
the
drops
sequel.
off at like what season 3? If people don't know, his girlfriend dies.
No, she gets murdered.
Yeah, get it
Yeah,
right.
okay. She
Get
got
it right.
murdered.
And
And
the
like
worst part is that he kills the guy
Before he finds out.
before he
So
finds
he can't
out.
take revenge.
And he can't savor it. Yeah, because he straight up snaps his neck, right?
No,
Like,
he
right.
buries him.
yeah,
Oh, he
buries him.
buries him. I thought he snaps his
Yeah.
neck and then he buried him.
He
Because
just buries him alive.
for whatever reason, that scene reminded me of the scene in Buffy when what's the name snaps the guy's neck and throws him into hell.
No, yeah, no, that wasn't Buffy. That was what you call it,
Angel, right?
Angel, that's right.
It
Yeah,
was Charles Gunn who
Charles. Yeah,
snapped Fred's teacher's
Yeah.
neck because Fred's teacher sent her to that demon world where Lauren is from.
yeah.
When Fred found out, she was gonna kill him, but because Gunn doesn't want her character, like her soul, her
Carry
purity,
that in her conscience. He snaps her neck and just throws him
because
into the.
she can't do it. She's not like a fighter or a killer like that, but Gunn is, so he did it for her.
Yeah.
Granted, he did it in front of her eyes, like in front of her.
Yeah. Dude, that scene, I was like, dude.
But unfortunately, that ruined their entire relationship. So
Yeah, he kind of breaks up with her after that because
they break up with each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But
but yeah, no, the new Dexter series is the original series, the
mhm.
sequel series, the prequel series, which it's kind of like an interquel and a prequel because I haven't seen the prequel yet because it's called or Original Sin,
Mhm.
Dexter Original Sin. So
Oh,
it takes
okay.
place during Dexter's younger years when
Yeah,
he
when he's
first
still a
started.
teen, when he's learning to control it.
Yeah.
Which
So
is kind of cool because a lot of the scenes they use are also from the flashbacks in the first one.
yep. And
So they did a good job with that one.
from what I hear, the actors that they got to play younger versions of those characters are spot on.
Yeah, they did a
Plus, they
really good
also
job.
got what you call it, Michael C. Hall to narrate Dexter's narrator voice throughout that series. But
Mhm.
apparently, the first episode of the prequel series takes place after the last episode of the sequel series, and then the prequel series is gonna it's gonna have 2 seasons, but it's gonna lead into the new sequel series, Resurrection.
Just gonna have like a time jump.
It's not necessarily a time jump, but yes,
Mhm.
because I don't want to say spoilers because I don't know who's watched it or not. But I don't.
Mhm.
Do we care about spoilers right now?
I don't care.
Not particularly.
Okay,
Dude,
so
I'll be honest, real quick. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off like that. But like ever since they like dropped the ball in the original Dexter series, I
yeah,
haven't really nothing has really gotten me to be invested in the up and coming shows. The only one I am actually interested in is New Blood, I believe it's called, where he has a
Mhm.
son or some
Yeah.
shit.
yeah,
Well, they have a kid together, so this is after that
Right.
event of
Yeah.
him
yeah.
having the
So
baby.
all right, Matt. Then I can't say anything because New Blood is the second sequel series, and then it's going to go into Dexter Resurrection, where it continues on from there. So I can't ruin anything.
Mhm.
Okay.
It had promise, unfortunately. It does kind of falter, but I think that's what's gonna be good about this new sequel series because they're gonna fix what they faltered in New Blood,
Mhm.
and then they're gonna try and take it back to the early years or the early seasons of the original Dexter series. At least that's my hope. But
Okay.
Peter Dinklage is gonna be in the new sequel series. So
Nice. Love that guy.
uh
We're going
from
to need details.
what I
Copious
know, from what
details.
I read, I think the series is basically gonna take place in New York instead of Miami. Dexter's gonna try.
okay.
It
Dexter's gonna
really
try
makes more
and
sense for Dexter. I always thought the Miami setting was weird for him.
yeah.
Nah, I don't know because Miami, this is just my process of thinking. I feel like in Miami, he could get away with a lot more stuff versus New York.
Lots of Gators.
A lot of gators, yeah.
Yeah, a lot
But
of
there's
gators.
gators in New York. There's gators in the sewers.
No,
Yeah,
those are Ninja Turtles. Those are turtles.
Snapping turtles.
but anyways, um, but I feel like there'd be like more video footage, like accessibility in New
In New
York.
York because it's more urbanized, whereas Miami is more like country club and like
Yeah, exactly.
it's a little
Hotels and
rural. It's a
stuff.
yeah,
little rural.
But
Yeah.
yes
Plus
and
plus he
no.
had the boat, you know. But I
yeah,
Yeah,
mean they find all the bodies anyways. In like what like season 2 they find all the bags of all the bodies
yeah. That's why he
discarded.
ends up. That's why he ends up taking his boat all the way to the Atlantic, where the current
Mhm.
washes them away now.
Mhm. Yeah.
into
So
international
I like that he
waters.
yep,
learns from a lot of his mistakes because as you see the show, you can see his skill progressing because his first murder was very messy. He had to fight and he struggled with the lady,
I
and
remember that.
ultimately, like he had to stab her repeatedly. I think, or I forget. But you can see how his skills get better and better as the show, even as the show progresses. Like when that who was blackmailing him at one point? There was somebody blackmailing him at one point, and I think
Mm.
he killed him. The cop, right? Was it the cop?
Oh no, not
Dokes.
the cop.
It wasn't Dokes. He was Dokes just suspected.
Suspected him, yeah.
Yeah, no, not the cop. It was the but this is like from season one or season two,
Yeah, it's like
super
season one,
early.
and I remember because there's a scene where he has a fit, and it's in his mind, but he throws like a fit of rage and he just trashes his office. But I'm trying to remember who it was because it was a one off character because he kills him
Yeah,
eventually.
yeah. Because like he's like, oh, I know what you are. You're gonna do
Yeah.
this for
Oh,
me.
that's right. Yes, that's exactly the scene, and that's where he like loses it, but he eventually takes him out. But it's just funny as you see, like he because he commits a lot of mistakes as the show
Oh
Well,
yeah,
progresses.
that but that's like that's what the show did good of showing you like how a serial killer
Gets
or
better.
yeah, how they adapt and their MO becomes more refined because that's
Yeah.
what they do.
It,
Like they're like any like when you read about Ted Bundy or anybody like that, right? Their first kills are always
Messy.
super messy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start to see them become very specific.
the other thing that I like though, that it wasn't just focusing on his getting better at skills in terms of freaking dealing with his psychosis, but he was also adapting to live a normal life.
That too. That
He
When
ended
he
up
was
meets,
falling.
when he
really
meets,
cool.
So
when he meets,
so it had to,
what's her name? Yeah,
yeah,
I like that.
Rita. So
Rita.
he
Yeah.
had to try and balance the serial killer in him and the social life that he had, and that caused him having trouble with one or the other because they would often spill over.
Mm-hmm.
And
The episode where he has to watch the kids because Rita has to work late. That was a funny episode.
yeah,
You know what's
you see the interaction with with his girlfriend's kids, and they
Uh
both
huh.
adore him, and he adores them, and he would do
Yeah.
anything to protect those kids.
you
Yeah.
know
Wasn't
what's
there one
the
where the little girl was getting harassed by somebody and he doesn't kill anybody, but he like does
He,
something to scare the kid to make sure he leaves her alone or something like that?
I
I'm trying
remember
to.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's somebody messing with her because he realized because he can see the telltale signs, right?
Mm,
And you can see his mind working and he's talking to himself in his mind. And he goes like, "Oh, she's definitely lying." Because Rita was trying to find out what was going on. He's like,
yeah.
"No, I know a liar when I see one." Dude, his inner monologues are so good.
but
And then Rita, Julie Benz. Oh my God,
but
We
she
had
has
to
such a
see her die
smoky voice.
twice in on screen, man. The first time
Dude, as
uh
Darla from
as
Angel and Buffy,
Darla, and then this one. Come on, man.
she has a smoky voice.
Oh yeah, dude.
but what I was gonna say
Hands down, man.
is
Like they should have had her as Carol in Friends because she was originally
yeah,
Carol in Friends.
Oh
what I was
shit.
gonna say
Hmm.
was that
But she got pregnant. She got
Mm,
pregnant, so they recasted her.
didn't Dexter, excuse me, ask the question like if you fake feeling long enough, does it start to become real?
I
something
think
like
it is
that.
him
Yeah.
because
And
it is when he's with Rita and he's like falling in love with her, and he doesn't know if it is genuine love or he's playing the part.
Mhm.
yeah, and then as like and I feel like even though like he's someone that like because people who are sociopathic are void of emotions, right?
Yeah.
And just because you're a sociopath, it doesn't automatically make you a killer. No, you're just a void of
Oh
emotion.
yeah,
That's all it is.
it's been debunked a long time now, where
Mm-hmm.
people themselves who have been diagnosed as sociopaths, they've come forward and say like, I'm a sociopath, but I've never murdered anybody. I've
Yeah,
never had
but
murderous thoughts.
a lot of CEOs are sociopaths because they they like avoid them like
They're
they're avoid of them.
calculative. Yeah, they're calculative. They're
Yeah. Just look at
precise.
Kaiba.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a sociopath, 100%.
So,
All of Joey's money.
but it was,
Wheel Mokuba, make sure Wheeler's late.
but it was nice to see that he did start to gain feeling. That part was cool. You
Hmm.
know, like
He's
make
still like you could see his he started developing a humanization, but then when Rita died.
Yeah.
yeah, it was gone.
This is gonna sound kind of like corny, but one of my favorite scenes in Dexter is when Dexter like officially proposes to Rita.
Uh-huh.
Like he had a very horrible day or some shit at work. He went through a huge ass crisis, and when he came to Rita's house with the kids, they
Yeah,
all looked
he like kind of fell apart.
yeah, and but then he's like, I don't want to have a day without you. Like I enjoy pizza night. I like going out with ice cream. I like
Hmm.
these little moments I spend with you, and I don't want to lose them. So that's
Yeah.
when he proposed, and they're like, "Oh my god, yes."
Yeah, like a lot of the people watching that were like, "Oh my God, he finally proposed!"
Yeah, and then,
Because
like that one
everybody was
friend,
wondering
they
because they
get to
were
live
living
it.
together at that point. Because
No,
he had,
they weren't living together just yet, but they
I
were.
thought she was already moved in with him by then.
Mm-mm.
No, he lived in
Oh,
an apartment and she had the house.
oh, that's right. She had the house. That's right.
Yeah,
He was just spending a lot of time there.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
Good show. Good
she
time.
offered for him to move in, but
That's
he
true.
wasn't
Yeah,
sure about it because of
the
like
slides.
his moonlighting, you
Hmm.
yeah,
know.
And the slides, the blood
So
slides.
yeah, yeah, all that stuff, his other self, like
Hmm.
he was trying to keep that hidden from her for obvious reasons.
Hmm.
He faked it till he made it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then unfortunately he got thrust back into it, into his old self.
But
Just got
Yeah.
this.
that's how you do character development, character growth.
Yeah,
You give
that's
them
true.
you start them off at one point. They go through obstacles to grow to a different character, a different point in life. Shoot them in the kneecaps and make their life fall apart so they can pick up and
But yeah, you're right about character development. But also, it has to make sense. For you
Yeah,
do need conflict,
exactly.
and the story has to make sense. And
Not just the conflict and the story making sense, but it's the character's decisions and actions during
exactly.
said conflict have
They
to make
can't feel
sense.
forced.
Yeah,
yeah, and also like depending on their decision making, there has to be a consequence behind that decision.
exactly. And that's usually
Hmm.
that's what you see happening at the ends of season 4 and 5 of Dexter. The consequences of Dexter's actions and end up
Hmm.
coming back to bite him, and that's what he has to deal with in the New Blood season, which
Mm-hmm.
is 10 episodes.
Which will put me on a little rant here with modern storytelling and it how like Disney and all these other motherfuckers just say, "Oh, you're the protagonist. You're special for no fucking reason."
Plot armor.
Like when they made what's her face, um, Rain, like a super cool Jedi and stuff when she had like no real training and
Oh
she
yeah,
didn't really touch with the dark side like Luke did or Obi-Wan. I mean, Obi-Wan lost his connection to the Force and then came back a stronger Jedi when once he gained that connection. And
Did
Anakin,
that happen in the side stories? Because I don't.
that was an Obi-Wan. That
yeah,
was
that
in
was an
Kenobi.
Obi-Wan.
That
Oh,
was
Yeah,
in
okay,
and
Kenobi.
okay.
Kenobi, but it is a canon story for Obi-Wan.
Hell yeah.
I thought it happened like somewhere in like the Clone Wars series or something like that.
Well, in the
No.
comics, there is an instance where Kenobi strays a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, Qui
Oh,
Gon
you're
brings him
talking
back.
about him going to like dark side and or touching
He
the
was
dark
Yeah,
tempted.
side. Yeah.
Yeah, all Jedi are tempted at one point.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because I
But
only
like
saw the Kenobi series once.
even
Hmm.
Luke, even like who I would say is the purest amongst the Jedi, he had issues with the dark side, especially at the end there where he was debating whether he kills Vader or not.
Hmm.
Not
That's
just
why.
that, in the comics, it's explored a lot more. Like his tackles
Yeah.
with the dark side are way more extensive, especially the books.
That's why in
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi he wears like all black, whereas usually
Mm-hmm.
And then the
Jedi's usually like
lapel,
yeah,
the
brown and
lapel
tan and stuff like
opens.
that.
So like and then we get these characters. I'm not trying to shit on Rain, but it's like the most
Ray.
Ray, whatever her name is. I'm not trying to shit on her, but she's like the most recognizable character when it comes to that, where they just give her the abilities.
It's because they like yeah, she had a good backstory, like she had a good origin point, but they the writers of the sequels trilogy did not do a very good job at like exploring.
Developing it, yeah.
Yeah, and even what's Kyle Ren, like he wasn't like he was supposed to be a Vader clone, but he did not have the same like conflicts, and it didn't feel genuine. You know what I mean?
Kylo's not a clone. He's
He's the
Leia's
son.
I know, but when
and
I say he's a Vader clone, as in like the
oh,
idea
they
of
wanted him to
Vader.
be the
He
yeah,
was he
Yeah,
was idolizing his grandfather.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It was
Like
just bad story
There could have
writing.
been so much about that. Like it could have been like they could have done a proper dynamic between Ray and Kylo, considering that Kylo is related to freaking Vader and
mhm.
Ray is related to Palpatine, and
Hmm.
that's the apprentice of master fucking
Hmm.
dynamic right there. They could have done so much between those two that that could have got expanded to those or all throughout the sequel trilogy, but they
Yeah,
didn't. They fumbled the ball and they focused on either the wrong characters, the wrong plot points, or they just had their thumbs up their asses not knowing what to do.
Yeah,
yeah, and
and
not
then
to
the
mention they teased the audience with dumb stuff like making Finn possibly force sensitive when he wasn't, and then having dialogue that led nowhere. Where there's literally one scene where he's trying to tell Ray something, and then they fall in the pit, and then they're okay, and then we never address that again. I'm
Yeah,
like, what
and
the
then
hell were you trying to tell her?
or that scene where Ray comes out as a Sith
Yeah,
with
and
the lightsaber.
yeah, it's like, what was that all about? Well, actually, a lot of people speculate that that was hinting that she might that was the hint that she was a Palpatine. But then again, people were saying like this is just that one scene from Empire Strikes Back when Luke goes into the cave and he slashes Vader's helmet and leaves
Yeah,
his
and
face.
then he sees himself. No, that it didn't play out like that. I understood that that's probably what they were referencing, but it didn't come out like that.
No, if
It
Yeah, it
anything, it felt like
just
a cheap dream, and I'm like,
Yeah, like they could have at least followed the same formula that was created with the original trilogy. The good guys win in the first movie. The second movie, the good guys lose. Bad
lose.
guys win. The third movie is about redemption and getting everybody back
E-
to get the band back together.
Exactly, yeah.
So the first movie could have been freaking Ray and Finn kicking Kylo's ass and
Mm-hmm.
setting him with his tail between his legs. The second movie, freaking Kylo could have like tempted Ray with something, and she could have fallen to the dark side. And then
Exactly.
yeah, that would have
it
been
could a temporary dark side that could last for like the first half, or like the last half of the second movie into the first half of the third movie, where Finn
and it
and
could have
Poe and Rose, they all get together to bring Ray back. That could have been the main focus of the first half of the final movie, and then the second half could have been the whole destruction of the Planet Buster.
And it would have been
yeah,
unique to their story arc.
yeah.
Exactly.
And and like going back to what Omar said with like Ray going into the like the dark side being coaxed by Kylo, you know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean?
Yeah.
It could have led to a huge betrayal, like how Han's friend in Empire straight up betrays everybody
Lando.
to
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Lando. Like and Lando was this very charismatic and trusting character, and he was uh, with the resistance, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
And then he, nope, here you go. Here you are. There's Vader. Deal with that. I'm out.
Oh, and notice like instead of at the end of what you call it, Rise of the Sky, or at the end of the first, what was it, The Force Awakens?
The Force
Ins-
Awakens, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
instead of Ray finding Luke on the planet, handing him his lightsaber, it could have been Finn at the end of maybe the second episode, or like so that Luke can teach Finn how to wield the lightsaber, even though he's not force sensitive, but he could
True,
have
because
taught him
there are Jedi's that aren't force sensitive. Bro
exactly,
Baka wasn't force sensitive.
and then freaking whatchamacallit, Luke could have shown Finn a way to bring Ray back. That could have been a very good way.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that would have
To,
been good because Finn would obviously would have felt helpless. So who would he gone? He would have gone to one of the greatest Jedi for help.
exactly,
And he
because he
doesn't
had
have the
R2
tools.
with
He
him.
could have been trained. Yeah.
Yeah. And it would have been better for a send off for Luke because they fucking destroyed his character in those movies,
You
Yes,
don't
they
made
did.
him
remind
a
me. And
punk.
even Mark himself was like embarrassed by that.
Yeah,
He
Yeah.
said like Luke would never do that. Like you guys
no,
are killing Star Wars, just so you know. He made his argument, but I mean, at the end of the day, he's like we always say, these guys are doing a job. They're being paid to do this. They might not be happy about it, but guess what? They have to eat and live as well.
yeah, I understand that part too. But like, it would have fallen along with Luke's character as being like the noble Jedi teaching
Yeah.
someone to like teaching a new person to learn how to wield the force, or at least use the lightsaber properly, and guide him to the path to bring Ray back. And that
Hmm.
whole dynamic would have been full circle, because first it was a Palpatine teaching a Vader, teaching a Skywalker, and
Hmm.
now it's a Skywalker teaching a Palpatine.
Hmm.
It would have been that full circle thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
because they rhyme and whatnot. Yeah.
yeah, Luke could have faced off with his nephew, and then Finn could have been doing what he could to bring Ray back. Ray could have had the whole freaking that one-off scene with her as a Sith with her foldable lightsaber.
Hmm.
That could have actually been utilized properly.
And it would have made
Poe,
more
yeah,
sense.
Poe and Rose could have been Finn's backup. They could have been freaking Finn's Leia and Han.
Yeah, that's kind of what they were going for. They just didn't do a good job at it.
No, exactly, because
And it's funny because we actually discussed this when we had our episode of the whole gatekeeping thing. We were talking about how the internet was so mean to the poor girl who portrayed Rose,
oh my god,
and
Yeah,
but
that
yeah,
shit.
they were basically trying to make them the new Han and Leia, but it kind of felt short because one, the romance was kind of felt forced, and two, it just didn't feel like
it didn't blossom properly.
no, it didn't. Yeah.
Like there was no like real spark between them, like how Leia and Han was in the original trilogy, because they had that bickering, bantering thing.
Yeah, like married couples. Yeah.
Yeah, But I still do feel sorry that she got bullied so much that she went off on she signed off of all social media because of that shit. But from what I know of, she's officially a Disney princess now. She came out in
Heck
that
yeah.
one. She's the voice actress of the lead character in that dragon. Uh, I forgot what it was called.
Rise of the Dragon or some shit.
I don't remember, but she's officially a Disney princess, so she made it.
Yeah. Good for her.
Yeah,
Huh.
and I would like to see her in more
Me
stuff.
too. Yeah.
She did her best with what she
What
was
was
given
given to her, yeah. And again, like I scoured the internet and I could not see a legitimate reason why people were hating on her.
because they just wanted to hit on her.
Yeah, hate to hate, man. It's like, yeesh. And again, like you can dislike something, you don't have to threaten anybody. You don't have to,
Yeah, I know, right?
you don't have to bully
Fucking
somebody
gatekeepers.
into leaving social media or trying to disappear. Poor girl must still have PTSD from that.
Oh shit, she's a fucking San Diego native.
Yeah, we again we talked about this in that episode. Go check that episode out, folks.
One of our early ones.
One of our early works, yeah, it's still a good one though.
Raya and the Last Dragon. Yeah,
That's the
that's
one,
the
yeah.
yeah.
Right
She's
in the
the
last
voice of
one.
the lead character.
Mm-hmm. But
She hasn't come out in a lot of stuff right now.
no,
Her first
unfortunately,
movie
she
was
hasn't really had any work after that because it kind of ruined her career a little bit.
no. She's got a couple roles in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Forge, Control Freak, Wedding Banquet.
Yeah,
She's done
but
some TV stuff.
yeah, but she had kind of like of a dry run shortly after Star Wars.
Yeah,
Uh,
she did reprise her Star Wars character in the Lego Star Wars games.
Yes, she did.
She voiced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
So there's that. But yeah. Anyway, hoping to see more works from her.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
And then if we do check out the new Dexter, we should probably do a review on that one too. Because
It starts streaming on Paramount Plus, I think, in July
yeah,
11th, I believe.
a lot of stuff coming these couple of months. August we have Alien Earth. That's gonna be a good one. And then we have
Still need to watch Predator.
Same.
Killer of Killers. It was
Yeah,
good.
watch that
It
one
was
too.
really good.
July is the new Superman movies coming out.
That's true. New Superman film, and then we have another Jurassic movie.
I am not caught up on the Jurassic movies,
Me
unfortunately.
I
neither.
don't remember the last one. I could have
I
sworn
only
the
saw
last one was with the kids.
the
With the
last one I saw was
Indominus.
Jurassic World.
Yeah, I thought that was it. I thought it was the one with the Indominus, but no, there's one after that.
Yeah, that's for Forbidding or Forgotten Kingdom or some shit like that. Lost Kingdom.
Yeah. And then there's one after that, I think. No, it's the same one. It just feels like it was like two movies.
Dude, there was only like one good Jurassic Park movie, and that's the first one.
Because you
Yeah.
got to see Jeff Goldblum sitting all sexy with his shirt undone.
Yeah.
No, I would say it's because I'm pretty sure that's the only one Steven Spielberg did.
No, he worked on Lost World. He didn't direct it himself, but he did work on it. Like
I
I think they got another guy to do that one, which is why a lot of people say that it just didn't.
No,
It
I
didn't
thought
do as well.
Spielberg directed Jurassic Park 3. He came back
he
for
did
3,
3?
didn't he? No, I'm thinking, didn't he come back for 3?
I think
I don't know.
he might have
'Cause
been one of the directors.
Google.
Because
He might have been. He might have been one of the directors. Because keep in mind nowadays they have like 5 directors in one movie.
That's nuts.
Director Joe Johnston.
No, okay.
So he might have contributed it. Let me see if he did. El
No, he didn't.
Spielbergo. No.
Okay. Well, apparently, The Lost World of Jurassic Park, Steven Spielberg did do.
Yes, he did.
Which one's
So-
the second? Oh, the second one's with the 2 T-Rexes, and they fall in the.
Yeah, it's when Malcolm has to go to Isla Nublar to rescue his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Julianne Moore. Julianne Moore.
Yeah, that's
I
the one
liked
that
I
takes
liked The
San Diego.
Lost World.
Okay.
A lot of people gave it a flag, but I think they did a good job.
Well,
I
I
like
would say there's only 2 good movies in the Jurassic Park franchise. The rest of them suck.
No, I like how in the sequel you focus on Malcolm,
Mhm.
Jeff Goldblum's character, and then in part 3
Ian Malcolm.
they focus on freaking Sam Neill's character.
Yeah, the little kid. Mm-hmm.
No, the main character from the first one, the older guy, the paleontologist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, but they also focus on the kid from the first one. In part three, we see the kid all grown up and he's trying to steal the raptor eggs. I mean, I like part three too. It was okay. It
Part
had
three
its
is
No, that
moments.
kid was someone
no.
else.
Yeah, that kid was someone else. And
In part three?
Yeah,
yeah,
Alan Grant. There you go. That was his character's name.
No, the kid that's with him. Isn't that the kid from the first movie, supposedly?
No,
no. I think was a
Hang
John
on.
William H. Mercy. Like
Macy.
they're looking. Yeah,
No,
they're look
William H. Macy is like the one of the
He's the
dad's
dad who
protagonists.
hired Alan Grant, Sam Neill's character,
Yeah.
to
to
find his
find
kid.
his son. Yes, because his son was like parachuting with their family friend, but they got crash landed into one of the,
Paragliding with
yeah,
on a boat with I forget what that's called.
yeah. But he and the kid and the family friend fell into the second island, and the family friend died, but the kid was still was surviving on his own.
Mm-hmm.
And William H. Macy's character, pretending to be like some kind of billionaire or something like that, hired Grant to help him search for his son, not realizing that his son landed on the other island that Grant did not.
Yeah. That he'd never been to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they
Site
never.
B.
Yeah, like this is Site B. I was on
Mm-hmm.
Site A. I remember that scene. It was
I know. I remember that too. Hang on. I'm just trying to remember the kids because of the kids from the first one. I think they were in part three. They were older in that one.
yeah. I think they cameoed in one of them.
Yeah. So okay. So the kids from part one, the boy who plays Tim, he's in part three. He's the kid who's there with him, and he's the one that steals the raptor eggs because they were running out of money for their grant. Because Sam was still
Oh,
Grant was still
okay.
doing the work, but he didn't get funding like he would have if he had been with InGen. So Tim started working with him in the paleontology field because you also see the daughter of well, not the daughter, but the little girl who plays the hacker girl in that one. She's older too, and she's the one that calls the National Guard. Oh no, that was Laura Dern. That was Laura Dern. She calls the National Guard to go save Sam Neill's character, Dr. Grant. But either way, I mean, I still like those. Those first three ones were still pretty good. Granted, the first one's still the best one, but I mean, granted, if you read the book, so there's a lot way worse. Like, I would not recommend anybody to really depict that film in live action if they go by the book 100%.
Yeah, there was seven. There's seven films. It's Jurassic Park, Lost World.
Damn, 7 films?
The seventh one's coming out right now. So
Yeesh.
there's Jurassic Park, Lost World, Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, Jurassic World Dominion is the other one that you're thinking about.
Ah, okay.
And then the next one that's coming out is Rebirth.
But pretty much another perfect example that the franchise has kind of gotten stale. I
Yep,
mean, I'll still watch it though. Like, you know,
you're on your own there.
yeah. I mean, it's not so much because I'm gonna well, I'm probably enjoy some of it, but I just want to see what they do with this one. I don't remember Dominion. I think I
That's
watched it,
one I haven't seen. No,
but I probably wasn't paying attention. I think that one has to do with a clone or something about cicadas or something like that. I forget, man. They all kind of blend together at one point. Plus, what's his name? The guy from Parks and Rec, from Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know.
Chris,
Chris Pratt. He's kind of getting annoying. Like I feel like,
is it because he's in everything?
yeah. It's like, can we stop casting him and everything?
Nope.
Same thing with the kid who played Spider-Man. What was his name?
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland isn't that much stuff.
No, but I mean, he's getting casted in a lot of stuff. He was what's his name from that game franchise you like?
Nathan Drake.
Yeah, Nathan
Oh,
Drake.
right, Uncharted.
Yeah. Still think
Well, what?
I still say they botched that one. They
Haven't seen it.
should they should have gotten the guy who plays Mr. Krabs as Nathan's
I mean, Sully.
Sully. I forget his name. He plays the guard in Shawshank.
Clancy Brown,
Clancy Brown, thank you, Omar.
the voice of Lex Luthor.
That's right. I forgot he's also Lex. But I think he would have been a good Sully.
Yeah,
He's gonna be in something pretty soon. I'm trying to remember what.
A new Spider-Man.
Is he gonna
Well,
be in a new Spider-Man?
Yeah, brand new day. Comes out in 2026.
Oh, who's he gonna play? Ooh, is he Kingpin?
Oh, wait, you're talking about Clancy Brown?
Yeah.
Oh no, I thought you were talking about Tom Holland. Nope.
No, I think there's something upcoming with him.
I don't.
Oh, I forgot he was in Starship
Mr. Krabs is
Troopers.
wild in the 80s,
Yeah, and
going
then
around
and
chopping
then
people's heads off
yeah,
to
Highlander.
be the one. I
Yeah. What was his name of that one?
forget.
the Kurgan.
The Kurgan. There you go. But
There you
no,
go.
I mean that's like the title he had. His actual name was something else.
I don't remember.
I didn't know he
Uh,
was in Highlander too.
yeah, he was the villain.
Yeah.
In the Quickening, I didn't know he was in that one. I know he was in the first one. I just didn't know he came back for the second one.
Yeah, Victor Kruger,
Victor
the,
Kruger. There you
the
go.
Kurgan. Yeah,
The
I
Kurgan. Yeah.
I think what happens is he's in flashbacks
Ah,
in the
okay, that makes
second
sense.
one.
Oh, he was in Flubber. Oh, look at that.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he was the guy that was trying to strong arm Robert Williams
Ah, okay.
to giving him the
Oh, I
flubber.
forgot he was in Penguin Omar.
I haven't seen Penguin yet.
Me
Oh,
neither.
really? Oh,
Yeah.
you guys are
Hey
missing
Ed,
out.
I'm
Yo,
pretty sure you've seen this, but you know the series Corridos, Tales of Passion and Revolution. He was in one of
yes.
them.
You
Clan-
was?
Clancy Brown was in
Nice.
one of the. He was one of the U.S. soldiers who was helping a Mexican lady.
Nice. He's awesome. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I forgot he was in John Wick 4. He was the high tables like concierge or whatever.
and then he was in the what you call it, the Sleepy Hollow TV series.
I still think that Clancy Brown is the guy, the high table guy. I think he was just downplaying his role as
I
to,
wouldn't be surprised. I
not
mean, he,
seem not draw attention to him because the way he would talk to the guy to what's his name's character, the guy who plays it,
Oh, Bill.
yeah, Skarsgård, yeah,
Yeah, Bill
the way
Skarsgård.
he would talk to him, I'm like, this guy, he's not just a messenger, he's somebody in the high table. He might be the guy from the high table.
I wouldn't put him past him. He does have that charisma.
Dude, Clancy Brown, I mean, like could charm your pants off, man, that vibrato of his,
Oh yeah.
especially when he plays Lex Luthor. It's like, that's right, Mr. Conspiracy Man. I spent $11 million on a fake presidency. And then he beats the crap out of him.
Jesus Christ.
But my favorite one is still gonna be in Public Enemies. Bitch.
Yeah.
He's coming up to Amanda Waller and she like shoots him down. Bitch. Just the way he turns around and he scowls though is just so funny. Plus, hearing Lex Luthor swear, so funny.
But
I mean, just him losing his cool is rare to see.
Or like when he freaks out when the it's Adam, right? Adam
Yeah,
comes back from space and has all that cosmic power, and no one can fucking stop him.
I remember that one, especially because like they're working on a weapon to try to stop him, and then the Martian calls them, and it's like any progress on the weapon is like no, and then freaking Lex gets in front of the camera like, just stop calling. We're working as fast as we can.
no, when what you call it, him and what was it, the Atom, like
The Atom, yeah, they go into the subatomic realm. Yeah,
well,
and
no,
then
when they were arguing or bickering
oh,
back,
that's right.
and then Adam's like, "We're gonna stop him," and like they actually had like a heart
A
moment
heart
right there
a heart moment.
because
Yeah,
fucking he was actually ill.
he was
Mazel was the
scared.
android.
Yeah, Amazo was the android because Lex was scared,
Yeah,
and he had a reason to be. I mean, this guy took down the entire Justice League in a matter of minutes. Actually, not even a matter of minutes, seconds. And then I like the fact that Amazo's like, "What am I supposed to do? And then what's my purpose?" And then Lex just has to open his mouth, like, I was scared of you, but now I feel sorry for you. And I'm like, and Adam's like, "Dude, you had an out. Stop antagonizing the guy."
Wait, then which one's Adam from? The
The
I know
Atom. The guy that can come get big.
No, there's a android like the adapt the Amazo. Wait, which one is it fucking
You're
called?
talking about Amazo. Amazo is the name of
Amazo.
the android.
Amazo
Yeah,
is the
but
android, but
I'm
there is another guy who can get big, and but it's not Adam. It's another guy, and he's
no,
actually
I'm
from.
not. I'm not talking about the shrinking and growing big like Ant-Man and Adam. I'm
Uh-huh.
talking about there's a robot called Adam, and it's like the Amazo.
I think that's from the Marvels though. I don't think it
Hmm.
is from DC because Amazo is the only android I know that can like copy everybody's abilities and all that. But I mean, I just thought it was so funny that they have this guy who's a walking trump card, and he ends up just going playing chess with Faith.
Yeah,
Freaking like every trouble they've ever faced could easily be solved by this guy, but no, he's out there playing chess.
because he's trying to find a balance
His,
between everything.
yeah, well, he wants to know his purpose because he's continuously evolving and whatnot. And
Yep.
then even Doctor Fate goes like, "Yeah, man, for a second I thought the Green Lantern Corps was gonna kill me." Dude, I like the fact that the guy who plays the Magi voiced Fate in
Yeah, he
in the
does.
series.
Freaking
I
fuck,
forgot his name.
Oded Fair, something like.
Odin Fair, yeah. He voices Doctor Fate, and he's the Magi in the Mummy. The Mummy was the first two. I don't know if he was in the third one.
He was.
He was?
No,
Oh, okay.
wait. Yeah, I think he did come out in the third one.
Nice.
He did.
I think so.
You
The
know what?
third one,
I only ever watched the third one time and never again because it was just that bad.
I didn't like it because they didn't wait for Rachel Weisz to
Yeah,
her
I
schedule to
mean,
clear
they
up.
could have waited for her. A lot of people said it was because they didn't pay, they wanted to pay her enough, but I'm like, nah, I don't think it was that.
yeah, but I mean, the third one isn't that bad. I do like the concept of it.
Oh
Mm.
yeah,
Instead of
the emperor,
fighting
the Japanese
emo
emperor, Imhotep,
Chinese, but
Chinese
instead of fighting Emotep a third time, because
yeah.
they completed the story.
Hmm.
I wanted
Uh,
them to continue off where they left off with the freaking from the Mummy Returns, where they
Hmm.
go to like South America for the pygmy mummies or
Hmm.
some shit like that.
uh,
Maybe Evie can get possessed by Enchantress, tie them together with the DC universe.
Something like that.
That would
no.
be cool. Imagine Evie as Enchantress. That'd be hot. And then freaking Rick, Evie. Every other scene, Evan, Evie.
Well, I chuckled because I was thinking about how like the guy that played Emotep, his acting so good in both movies up until
Hell
the part he
yeah.
goes no when he
When the rock is
slides in.
stabbed,
Yeah.
no.
I remember what scene you're talking about.
Yeah,
Dude,
no, the scene, dude, the scene I like, and to this day, like, and Jen and I talk about it every now and then, is the scene where him and Rick are hanging off the side of like the ground because the ground split open,
mhm.
and Rick is telling Evie to get out of there, and Imhotep's like, "Step away,
Yeah,
step
save me.
away," and then that bitch dips, dude. Like he risked everything for this girl. He got himself killed twice for this girl. He tried to
He
destroy the
brought her
world for this
back,
girl, and she dips on him, and you can see the heartbreak in his eyes. And he's
and then
like,
he
"I'm not
just
gonna
lets go.
move." And he sees Rick and Evie there, like, cause she comes and saves him. It's like, and you can see it in his eyes. He's going like, "You guys have true love," and
Yeah,
I
because
feel bad for him, man. Like, damn.
freaking Rick saw her die right in front of her eyes. Then she gets resurrected, and he's like, "The fuck? How'd that happen?" And he doesn't want to lose her again.
Exactly. Yeah. He's like, "Get out of here." But it's just, dude, that scene was really like heart wrenching because the mentality of Emotep is like everything I did was this for this girl, and she like left me to
Abandoned.
die. And I'm like, I feel for you, bro. I would
Yeah,
have tried to save him. Well, they could have tried to save him. He was human at that point. He wasn't immortal
Yeah, but
anymore.
would you trust him?
yeah, exactly.
I mean, hey, if Kakarot can make Vegeta a murdering psychopath into a good guy, maybe they could do the same with this
Yeah,
guy.
but
Nah.
nah, Imhotep is more Frieza than Vegeta.
Yeah.
Mm, I guess suppose.
If
But Frieza's
Emotep,
good too now.
no, he's
Now,
not
He's good enough. Like
barely, but
he's not allowed to destroy Earth.
yeah,
Wasn't
but
that
he'll
the
destroy
term?
any other.
Wasn't that one of the terms? for
Yeah,
him to become back. Yeah, he couldn't destroy Earth, and I'm like, you guys are jerks. So that means he could conquer any other planet except Earth.
yeah. But then he becomes like in an upcoming arc, which I don't know when we're going to see it in its animated form because it happened in the mangas or it's happening.
Is it the one where he turns into Freezer Black?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, I
and
I
then
read about it.
and
I read about it.
yeah, and he gets super powerful, and he's like stronger than like Goku and
Mm-hmm.
Vegeta
Combined, yeah,
combined.
yeah.
So he's
But it's
back up
crazy
to his
because
shenanigans.
yeah, no, but in that one, when he reaches that pinnacle, doesn't he get bored? Like he like, man, like what am I supposed to do now? Like
I
put a
don't
sword.
know. They
Uh,
haven't finished it yet because
the
that
manga ended right there.
Yeah, like because he gets like the
uh
perfect form, and he's like, I'm insanely
No,
powerful now.
no, the arc and the manga ended with freaking Frieza just Frieza Black knocking out Ultra Instinct Goku and
Uh-huh.
Vegeta Ultra Ego.
Yeah, and then he goes like, well, what else is left to do?
I think he told him to train up or some shit like that. Basically,
Most likely.
Gave him a
Yeah,
Goku.
he Goku
it's
them.
it's just like
He
one of
pushed the
those like
Goku button.
Frieza's become one of those character where he's like he I don't think he just wants to destroy anything. I think he just wants to challenge now. Like he's gotten that taste of like, let me see if I can find somebody stronger now.
Yeah,
Because even in
I
Resurrection F, when they realized that he didn't train enough as in his new form, and even Freezer, like when the realization, I'm like, crap, maybe I should have trained more. And then, of course, Goku's still in the kill. But I feel like if they do the whole arc of him continuing from there, I think it's gonna get to a point where they're just like friends, but not really friends, and he just doesn't really
yeah.
kill them. It's like with Vegeta and Goku, like good, Vegeta still wants to kill Goku, but he's
No,
not
he doesn't.
going to do it.
Mm-mm.
He kind of does.
Nah, they're like actual friends now.
He
But
won't
I
admit
mean,
it though. Like Vegeta won't ever admit it.
no. But also, Goku
They're
has
out going.
never.
They're out getting drinks,
Yeah,
and
but
Vegeta's.
Goku has never beaten Vegeta in
Listen to me,
open
Commander.
combat.
I'm using his fucking
Mhm.
name.
The
That's
first
right.
time Vegeta beat the shit out of Goku, Goku's friends had to show up and jump Vegeta.
Yeah, I
And
remember.
then when Vegeta beat the shit out of him during the Buu saga, like, oh well, you decided to hold back and not go Super Saiyan 3. That's on you, motherfucker.
For the record, and and the three of us said that like Vegeta probably would have been able to take Goku down in three because three is a flawed form and
Yeah,
it really shouldn't be used anymore. That should have been the
Mm-mm.
form that became non-canon.
it
Like,
should have,
I
yeah.
mean, just like
But
the concept of it, like it was cool on paper, but when you get into the nitty gritty of it, it's a very flawed form.
mhm.
Like it leaves you powerless after too much use of it.
But I do miss the old Freezer, especially like the build up to him. It was so good because you didn't even know who he was, and they made a terrifying character. And
Yeah,
then when you finally meet him, you see why he's so terrifying.
and one thing I've always liked about Dragon Ball is that the main villain always looks like a weirdo. Like that's the main villain. Like you have Majin Buu, this big tub of goo, and even Cell, a cockroach.
Even King Piccolo, when you're first introduced to
Yeah,
King Piccolo.
yeah. Shoot, even Slug. Like I was
Oh yeah,
surprised. Yeah, I was surprised about him.
another Namekian.
Mm-hmm. Heck, even that weird little devil guy, I forget his name, the little guy. I'm trying to remember him.
The little devil guy.
I know who he's talking about, but it's
Yeah.
slipping my head.
Uh, I'm trying to blank on his name. They actually now used him as the new villain for Daima, but he was a villain beforehand. A lot of people just weren't aware of him. He was like a little trickster.
Oh right.
I think he made a debut in the one was Janemba. He was the guy can interdimensional travel when they get knocked into another dimension. That little guy. You remember
Are you
when
talking
they go?
about freaking Garlic? Garlic
Was
Jr.?
it Garlic? No, not
No,
Garlic
not garlic.
Jr. You remember when they're fighting against Janemba and then he throws the revenge death ball, but as he's throwing it, this little guy comes out of nowhere and he transports them, but they get launched into another dimension and they have to fight this weird thing to get out of it. That that little guy. He has like a son too, I think. I forget his name. He kind of actually looks like the Eternal Dragon, but just like a really tiny version of him. A tiny, chubby version of him. When you see him, you'll know. There's a lot of like lesser characters a lot of people forget. Like Launch. Hey, what happened to Launch, Omar?
She got launched into space.
I still can't believe they forgot about that. They genuinely forgot about her. It's like, how do you forget one of your main characters? Well, I don't know if you would call her a main character.
She was a big character though.
I liked her, man. When she sneezed and she go crazy, and then she was always trying to kill. Was she trying to kill Yancho or was she trying to kill Krillin?
I don't remember watching Dragon Ball, so you'd have to
Well,
Matt that.
yeah, she was just she just had an
She was
explosive
gun happy.
personality.
She
Yeah,
was gun happy. Yeah.
but I mean, she shot up Goku.
She shot it. She was the one that shot him, right? Because he gets shot one time,
He
like, and it
gets
actually hurts him.
well when he in Dragon Ball when it's Kid Goku,
Hmm.
Launch and Goku share a bed,
Hmm.
and Launch sneezes in the middle of the night and turns into the mean Launch. And then she wakes up. She's like, "Oh, you little pervert!" and just starts shooting him. He's like, "Wait,
Nope.
what?"
Goku over here, always just like getting to people's personal space. Like, honestly, I'm surprised culture hasn't tried to cancel Goku from
I'm pretty sure they tried.
all the inappropriate things he's done.
No, see, I don't know. For some reason, when it comes to cancel culture, when it's anime, it's okay. Because the
Well,
people that watch anime are the
well,
same
you
people.
have an old guy that looks at little 14-year-old girl's undercarriage and his nose gushes blood. So yeah, they got away with a lot in the early days. A
They still
lot.
do it like that, you know?
Well, yeah, there's that one scene in Super where Goku teleports into Bulma's bedroom and she's just
No,
wearing a
I'm talking
towel.
about with newer anime, just in general. It's still like they're still showing like underage girls and like their underwear and shit. It's like, why?
It's socially acceptable again over there, I guess.
It is. I think a consenting age in Japan is 16.
Oh
No, they
wow.
change it to 18. Like,
Uh,
Okay.
and this is why the guy from Rurouni Kenshin got in trouble. Is
Okay.
because they outlawed that kind of stuff for a person to have on their computer. And he just didn't delete what was on his computer. So therefore he went to prison because of it.
Jeez.
He got in trouble for technicality.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So like it and so yeah, like I said, they changed that like the consenting age to 18 now.
Mm.
It's no longer 16 or whatever the case may
Speaking of samurai animes, Ronin Wars is coming back.
yeah, I
be.
know. I can't wait for that. Hey
I'm
Ed,
looking forward to that.
Tubi
What's up?
has the Power Ranger series,
Which one?
all of them.
Ooh,
Well,
nice.
majority of them so far. They also have Sentai.
Nice. I need to watch some of those. They're getting like they're so over
Sentai
the
or
top.
senpai?
Sentai.
Sentai. Yeah,
Hentai?
they're so over the top, man. It's
And
funny.
look, they also have Samurai Warriors or
Nice.
Samurai Troopers, Ronin
Oh,
Warriors.
that's right. I forgot the American version is called Samurai Troopers.
No, that's the Japanese version. It's Ronin Warriors is the American name.
Oh, really? Oh, I
Yes.
thought it would have been the other way around.
Nope. Samurai Troopers.
I like Ronin Warriors better, anyways.
Yeah. It makes sense because they really didn't have a master, but they did have like a code of Bushido kind of thing.
Exactly.
But yeah, so the new Ronin Warrior series of Samurai Troopers that's coming out, I think it's next year. It's going to be a new cast, so it's not a reboot. It's technically more of a sequel. It's going to focus on a new cast of
Mm,
characters fighting a
Mm-hmm.
new evil, and they're going to have. I'm assuming they're going to have the same armors, but it's probably going to
Updated,
be
yeah.
yeah.
Updated designs.
and the animation's probably gonna suck.
Well, they're going with
It's
CGI.
yeah, that's what I mean.
I mean, what happened to like? I mean, we're in a day, we're in a time where you can have art CGI, but look like it was hand drawn. There is that filter, so I
Yeah,
don't understand why they can't make them look like that. It's just
or
that
like it, like
CGI
when you
makes it look so
watch,
lifeless.
yeah, or like when you watch, I think like a good example of CGI in anime would be Solo Leveling. It still looks like an animation, but it's super clean because they use CGI.
Speaking of Solo Leveling, it got anime of the year, man.
It did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Well, one of the categories it won anime of the year.
I
I don't
think it
remember
was
which one.
best action.
Yeah, best action and best new original IP.
Mm.
I need to
So,
finish
oh,
watching.
and I think it also got best soundtrack. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it looks like it did pretty good.
Omar, I
Yep.
totally finished it. So I think you were like on episode 2 because we
Well,
shared
I was getting.
Crunchyroll.
I restarted it from the beginning of the second season anyway, so
Oh, okay.
I think there's an abridged of it already too.
yeah.
Yeah,
They make his sister freaking
Yeah, per
yeah.
that's gross.
Yes, it is.
It's like, oh, take this task, get the 10,000 XP, but she's my sister, 100,000 XP. Oh no!
Yeah, that's just dumb. And
Well, that's a bridge for you.
a bridge could be funny, but you don't have to be lewd like that. This isn't Sorry Step Bro or whatever the fuck it's called.
I mean, it can be.
I mean, next to Dragon Ball, I still think Helsing is my favorite abridged series.
Helsing is hilarious.
I had to
Yeah.
finish watching the Helsing bridge
Okay,
too.
like before you get mad, it wasn't my fault. Liar, I was. I was minding my own business. Liar, I was.
I just like how he's like overly perverted.
Hey
He's
kids, want
like,
to see a dead body?
I gotta
No,
say, Team 4 Star are freaking comical geniuses.
yeah, they really are. They really hit the nail on the coffin with that one. I don't think anybody else come close. Although the Gundam anime abridged was pretty good.
There was two of them though. That's the thing.
Yeah, I still can't really see which was which, but they're still both ass funny. And then I like to combine some of the episodes from one of them with the other ones because some of them have just better ones. Like the Operation Meteor, I think the guys who have it on their channel did a better job than the other ones.
Yeah,
And then of course, you have the one where Hero gets depressed. It's like he literally tilted his Gundam forward to make it look like it's sulking.
yeah, the other one.
oh,
I
that's
think
just fine. Because I got me a fuck ton of bombs.
What are you gonna say, man?
I think Operation Meteor, like they did a better job, but the
Hmm.
other one had some really good jokes.
No, because I like freaking what's the name? Zax is like full Nelson, and it's like that's why you use a Leo.
And that's how you do. And that's what for. Or no. How do you say? How's that for a metaphor? Still not right, sir.
Still not right, sir. Yeah, especially the henchmen. Sir, they're killing all our men. We're kind of running out of them.
Okay, so one of the franchises is Operation Meteor, but now they rebranded as OP Meat because they got
They got
copyright strikes.
they couldn't they had to get off of YouTube because their channels kept
Yeah,
getting
but
taken down.
now they're back on YouTube.
Hmm.
And then
And
the
it's
other
called
one,
OP Meat.
and then the other one is Operation Mecha.
That's the other one, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah,
It's
they both have like their funny quotes and their freaking
yeah.
Hero with his background music.
Mission complete.
Yep.
Play my music. Du-du-du-du-du-du-du-du. I'm gonna
Right up the
need.
butt.
I'm gonna
Hey,
need.
even the self destruct system is in the same place. Right up the butt.
I'm gonna need a PA system and access to it.
Fucking
I'll kill
Final
you.
Team 4 Star with Final Fantasy 7 abridged. That
I
shit
haven't
was
seen that
funny.
one. I haven't seen that one.
Better not fuck up.
Blondie.
Yeah.
That was on
Uh,
freaking the defunct Machinima series or his channel.
oh wow.
That's how long what you call it, Team 4 Star has been around, like over 10 years, and Machinima defunct like a few years ago.
Yeah. Same thing with Rooster Teeth, I think.
And then do you remember Screw Attack before it was
Yeah.
Oh my god.
when
to
Death
show
Battle
your-
was actually good?
Way to show your age.
Well, I think
Yeah,
it's
don't
40.
get me wrong. Like Death Battle has really gone down lately. I think they've run out of characters to pit against each other.
No, it's not that. It's just
A lot of biases.
it is. It's a lot of bias. It's not.
I don't know. I think they've had a couple of matches on the money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes, but a lot of them really are biased.
Hmm.
except for Doom Slayer versus Master Chief.
Shut up. He won the first round, all right?
That was Doom Guy.
It's the
Doom.
same person. It's the
No, it's not.
same person.
Doom Guy is Doomslayer, but Doom Guy is still the human version.
No, I know.
He
Yeah.
he doesn't have all the
Yeah,
magical
Doomslayer is a
can't
walking,
lose plot
yeah,
armor.
asshole. Freaking asshole.
Doomslayer is plot armor.
That was a good one though. That was like one of their better ones, especially because they did touch on all the lore and crap. Plus, the combat was really good, and then the little Easter eggs they had all over
Mhm.
that episode. I just like the one where they go into hell and then you see Ghost Rider and who else was it? But it was Ghost
Uh,
Rider and they're like
And
in
Scorpion
they're
probably.
Scorpion probably. Yeah.
Scorpion, yeah, they're off in a cliff and they're just watching the match and then they immediately just portal out of there because they're like, nope, let them have at it.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be like a what's it called? Like an Easter egg to one of their previous battles.
Yeah, because I think Scorpion and
And Ghost Rider were
Ghost
fighting.
Rider did fight in one. I think Ghost Rider won though.
Well, yeah, the panic's there.
The penance there, yeah, it
Hey,
kind of broke
Ghost
him.
Rider
Yeah,
is kind of fucking OP in the
yeah,
comic
anything with a
books.
soul. He took Galactus down because I guess Galactus has a soul, and he used the
Mhm.
penance there on his ass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah, it's one of the it's from one of the series, one of the TV shows.
yeah, and also like Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze specifically, that version of Ghost Rider gets a bunch of bullshit superpowers because of like the Angel of Vengeance that is part of his soul. So he gets
Hmm.
like both heaven and hell powers.
Yeah, that's
Just
true.
wait until you meet Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and then you got Cosmic Ghost Rider because I forget who the other Ghost Rider is. Like his
Punisher.
no,
Yeah.
it's not Frank. I'm thinking of like Ghost Rider's kid or some shit like that, or
Jaime,
nephew.
Jaime Ray. No. It wasn't Johnny Blaze, but it was some Mexican dude with instead of using driving a motorcycle, he had a like a fucking hot rod kind of
Yeah.
car.
Ah, okay, yeah, but he's not as powerful as regular Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze, because you know
I heard Nick wants to reprise a role,
He
although I don't know
does.
if he be able to, unless they do it like they did in the first one, where they had the first rider pass on the torch to the next rider, and we get a new rider.
I don't see why not.
the
Yeah,
Ghost
that's
Rider can technically be any age because infinite power source.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Plus, he only comes out when the balance, the scales of balance of good and evil get tipped over too much on the other side. So
In
there's too much good, he tips it to the other, and vice versa. Because he's not good, he's not bad, he's just chaos incarnate.
Pretty much.
Yeah, but he's really good at doing his job,
well, I think what Marvel should
and he does
do,
not discriminate.
mm, yeah, what I think Marvel should do is because in Thor Ragnarok, no, Love and Thunder, you see like the Living Tribunal statue, and
Hmm.
towards the end of the movie, you see all the different cosmic entities that make up the Marvel universe,
Yeah.
and then you had and Christian Bale and Chris Hemsworth, they're in that area with the what the fuck was that cosmic entity that makes anything happen?
Shoot.
The one above all.
No, the one above all is the writer.
Yeah, he can make anything happen.
Yeah, but this wasn't. This is the one below the
The
one above
Beyonder.
all. I
I think it was the Beyonder.
No, I don't think it was the Beyonder. I think is Beyonder DC.
No,
No, okay.
Marvel.
Uh,
Because
anyways,
I remember the Beyonder coming on an episode of the
Oh, the
Spider-Man.
Watcher. It's the Watcher, Matt.
the Watcher.
I think
No,
it was. Or
No,
Death and
the
Eon. It was either Death and Eon.
Eon.
Eon, okay.
No, wait. Is Eon Kurt Russell's character?
I
that's
think so,
Ego.
yeah.
That's
That's
Ego.
Ego, yeah,
Ego.
yeah, that's
Okay,
Ego.
so it's probably Eon.
Yeah. Because the Living Tribunal is made up from the Watcher and other people like Death. Death is part of that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Love, Infinity, Eternity.
The
I,
tribunal is
I think
basically just
I,
manifestations of like
I think it was Eon,
concept.
Matt. because is a cosmic entity often depicted as the child of eternity, charged with
Yeah.
protecting sentient life. Yeah, and
Okay.
ensuring favorable conditions for evolutions in the universe. So
Hmm.
he's kind of like the one that keeps the scales balanced, to make
Yeah.
sure there's not too much good or evil.
Now, and but aside from like doing a bunch of like timeline stuff that Marvel's doing, they should probably go cosmic. I think making main continuity storyline, but with cosmic beings, and maybe we could see like Rune Thor, or and maybe like the and Cosmic Doctor Doom with Avengers Doom that's coming out.
That's true. There's a lot. I mean, there's just so much they can do. Like the cosmic entities that the characters have faced, there's a lot of them. Like, isn't there
Mm-hmm.
one where the X-Men have to face a literal galaxy at one point? Like it's like a cosmic entity made up of an entire galaxy that's a fight, and Dark Phoenix is the one that pretty much absorbs it.
I don't remember that.
It's what
Me neither.
it's in one of the older comics.
Remember, I'm
I'm
not
not.
very familiar with X-Men comics.
Let's see. Versus the X-Men. Yeah, the X-Men have gone up against crazy villains. Let's see, who was it? They did fight somebody pretty big. I don't remember. And they needed the Phoenix to basically help them.
I know that the Green Lantern has an entire planet that's a lantern.
Oh, I
Yeah,
remember that.
Mogu. Mogu, I think is his name.
Something like that.
Uh, there's one instance where Superman kills him.
What?
It's
Superman kills the Lantern planet?
yeah.
It's not.
It's
It's Superman Prime.
yes,
Oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense
It's
because
the adult Superboy Prime.
that's
yeah,
the villain.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. He like like literally drives into him and destroys him.
Well, that's all you need to
Yeah,
do to
it is
destroy a
Mogo.
planet is go to the core and rupture it.
That's what he does. Because I mean, I think Soups was out of commission, so they threw everything at him, and then they thought Mogu could take him, and unfortunately, he fell short.
He's like, nope.
I know, dude, it sucks. When I read that one, I was like, "Oh no, Mogu!" It's funny because there's one episode of the Green Lantern show where there's this guy. They're talking about the story of Mogu because he what's his name is training the new guys. The guy who says
That's from the movie Emerald Knights,
that's right, Emerald Knights. When what's his name
and it's a bunch. Yeah, it's a bunch
Kilowog
of
is
different short stories.
Kilowog is telling them the story of Mogu, and it's like, yeah, there was this guy who wanted to fight Mogu, but he couldn't find him, and everybody finds out it was a damn planet. That was a good movie too. I liked it. Is that the one where Christopher Maloney voices Lantern? Hal? He voices Hal?
I think so.
That's that one,
Probably.
right?
Because I know Nathan Fillion voiced Hal Jordan for a
Ah,
couple of things too.
I like Nathan's version of Hal too.
Because he voiced Lantern in the DC animated movies,
Mm-hmm.
and I think in one of the TV series, and in the Emerald Knights or the first Green Lantern movie, it
I think it
was
was Christopher Maloney, the
yeah
guy who was Elliot Stabler
Yeah.
yeah.
in Law and Order SVU.
You know what we need? We need more Green Lantern stuff. I think
We really
because
do. He's kind of
because
become a very like underused character in
You
the
do know that they are releasing a Green Lantern series that's takes place in the DC universe movies with the Superman movie that's coming out, right?
all right. Well, they have what's his name in it, so that should
Yeah,
lead to
Guy
that.
Gardner.
Guy Gardner,
Yeah,
he's gonna
Guy
be
Garner.
what you call it?
A,
Um,
a lot of people are speculating that he's gonna die.
the what you call it? The actor who comes out in Kyle Chandler is his name. He's gonna
Hmm.
be an old Hal Jordan.
Nice.
Huh.
Also, these are like gonna be newer lanterns that we probably haven't
Most
seen in a
likely,
while.
they'll probably focus on the more recent ones that came out, like Jade, who was Alan Scott's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
who was the original
Oh,
Green
that's
Lantern.
right. I forgot about her. Yeah.
They'll probably focus on him. Probably Jessica. I forgot what her name is, but she has her last name was Jessica Cruz. There we go. That's her name.
Jessica Cruz. That's right.
But
Yeah.
she doesn't have a Green Lantern ring. She has a power ring from the what you call it, the Earth 3 Green Lantern, the bad guy version of Green Lantern from Earth 3. You know how Ultraman is the bad guy version of Superman?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
right. He does have that. Yeah.
she has his ring,
Uh huh.
and then there's also that Simon Baz, I think his name is the Muslim Green Lantern with the full face mask.
Yeah.
They'll probably focus on characters like that if
That'd
they
be good.
yeah, give the newer Green Lanterns like a little bit more like
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Green Lanterns that
because
have really good stories that
yeah, because
just
everybody knows
get
Guy Gardner,
overshadowed.
everybody knows Hal Jordan, everybody knows Kyle Rayner, everybody knows John Stewart,
Mm-hmm.
but there's so many other Green Lanterns from Earth that they
Mm-hmm.
don't need and that they haven't explored, and it would be awesome to see those characters get explored a little bit.
Yeah, plus seeing some of the other alien species lanterns instead of, just Kilowog and what's his name. That'd be cool to see.
The
Yeah,
one that's like a little ball with like the 6 legs.
I
Mm-hmm.
think he's got 3 legs.
Or
Mm-hmm.
s-
He's got
He's a
3 legs.
tripod.
yeah. Or
And
then you
then
got the one with like the fish ears and
Yeah, or the one that Falcor, I think his name is, the one with the beard, but with like sharp fangs.
yeah.
yeah, that
Ears.
dude.
And then there's the one that had a thing with John Stewart at one point.
Oh yeah, her.
The but that'd be cool to see because yeah, there's so many lanterns, man. There's like hundreds of
There's
them.
also the Blue Lantern Corps, Red Lantern Corps.
The Spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also another Lantern Corps called the Ultraviolet.
Mm.
That's beyond my
That
Yeah.
that's new. And
knowledge.
I think John Stewart is one of the lanterns from that one.
Oh damn.
Okay.
It's a new.
To be honest, I don't know shit about the Blue Lantern Corps. I just know they exist.
Yeah.
And I know that the Red Lantern Corps are like
They're bad. They're
they're
really
they're a
bad.
steroid version of the Yellow Lanterns.
Yeah. Yeah, they're really bad. They're really bad. And the worst part about it, when they pick their host, because I guess they're like almost parasitic, the rings,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
they like consume them and they make their rage come out. It's almost like the symbiote. And
Okay.
it'll turn a very docile person into a very manic, roided out version. It's just pure rage. Like at one point, I think Hal was consumed by one of the red rings, and he had to fight it off of him and destroy it so he can reclaim the Green Lantern. But I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, they're psychopaths basically. They make the Joker look tame.
Yeah, each of the lanterns they focus on a human emotion.
Yeah,
So the red lantern is obviously rage,
yeah.
green is willpower, yellow fear,
Mhm.
sapphires are love.
Mhm.
I mean the purple ones?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Star Sapphire.
Mhm.
Yeah, but she's a villain. Or
She's
she
like
was.
she's a hero or anti-hero at the most now,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
but she
and
is a lantern.
her beef is mostly with Hal. Like she has beef with him.
That's
But
that's his girl. That's why.
Yeah,
That's Carol.
yeah,
she,
yeah. I know.
she
I'm saying
felt
like
betrayed by him.
yeah, she felt betrayed by his woman scorn basically. So a lot of it is her trying to kill him.
Yeah. Then blue is hope. Purple or
Hmm.
indigo is compassion.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
That's what blue is.
yeah. Violet is the love one, and then obviously there's orange is greed. There's only one orange green lantern, or one
Yeah,
orange lantern. Sorry.
yeah. Only one orange lantern
Then
because
there's the
they're greedy.
the white lanterns, the black lantern.
Doesn't Kyle become the first White Lantern?
Not I don't know if he's the first, but yeah, he does become
Yeah,
he does become a
I
white
think
lantern.
a couple of them donned the white lantern at one point because it's
No,
not so
but
much.
he Kyle is so powerful that he ended up becoming Ion, which is like a
That's what it was. He becomes all the lanterns,
yeah.
all the
He could
positive ones.
no he could control all of them. He
Okay.
could use them all, and he becomes like a White Lantern or Ion, and then he's got like cosmic entity powers or some shit like that.
Nice.
But even he knows like that's too much for him, so he doesn't want to.
Hmm. And then you have your honorary lanterns like Batman, and then I think Question at one point uses a ring, and I think Lex también uses a ring at one point
I
because
don't know about that.
he takes it from somebody. and he tries to experiment on it because I think he tries to fuse it with kryptonite, but it backfires, and like I think he absorbs some of the power, and becomes pretty strong at one point. But Superman stops him like always.
Like always.
Yeah. Either way, I mean, it's a lot of good stuff coming out this year. Here's hoping World War III doesn't break out before we get to see any of it.
Nah.
All right. Either way, all right. Let's wrap it up, guys. This was a long episode.
Yeah, but
2 hours and 16 minutes.
we didn't even
See,
talk about the game that we were going to talk about.
yeah, we were gonna talk about actually. Okay, before we wrap things up, Omar, I want to go ahead and share of a new game that we just started getting into called Crystal of Atlan. What the hell does that even mean, by the way, Omar?
Well, from what I'm
It
at,
means you got crystals
I
that
thought it was like
are at land.
Atlantis
no,
or Atlantic City.
Atlan is probably just like the name of some legendary.
Okay.
I'm at the point in the story because I just reached level 54.
I'm not paying attention to the story.
I haven't really.
Of course
either.
you're not. We know what
honestly,
you're paying attention to.
I haven't
Why
really
aren't
been
you
either.
a uniform?
But the Crystal of Atlan is basically like an all powerful force.
Uh,
It's a very powerful MacGuffin that people want.
okay.
So
You're a MacGuffin.
I like that
So
word, MacGuffin.
the adventurers are they get hired. I'm assuming to try and find it.
Oh, adventurer.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Adventurer.
the last guy who found it, he was like the first leader of the Adventurers Guild or something like that.
Okay.
He hid it away because he was afraid that somebody was going to abuse its power.
As usually the
Yeah,
case.
Yeah, and then
unadulterated abuse of power.
Yeah.
and then one of the characters who's supposedly helping you out in the story ends up betraying you because he's
So what else
using
is new?
I know, right?
Of course.
He's using you to try and get information on the location of the crystal so that he could snatch it out of your hands once you get it.
You know, you kind of just also
Oh,
described
plot twist.
Borderlands, by the way, Omar.
I never played it, so right now.
Yeah, but no, like almost word for word the way you describe it. That also is the story plot to Borderlands. You're looking for a MacGuffin. This guy's helping you. She turns out to be the bad guy in the end, or she
Yeah,
betrays you.
that's the first one.
Yeah, that's what I said. Borderlands. I
Yeah,
didn't say Borderlands
Borderlands,
1, 2, 3, or 4.
Yeah,
I
okay. I
said
was like, wait,
Borderlands.
Borderlands. Okay.
Anywho, Crystal of Atlan is a free-to-play MMORPG. It's available on PC, mobile, and PlayStation 5. However, there's no cross-save or cross-play between the console and the mobile/PC version.
Only between PC and mobile.
From what I understand, yes. So there's no cross-save, no cross-play. So you have to play if you're playing on PC or mobile, you have to create a whole new character on the PS5.
Yeah, Omar and I are currently playing it on the 5. I did start a file on my laptop, my PC, but I haven't really played that one because I've been too invested in the console one. The game is pretty straightforward. You get to pick from different classes. I think it's like 5 classes, right?
Yeah, there's the swordsman, there's the musketeer, there's the fighter, the magician, and the puppeteer. Yeah,
the puppeteer,
5 classes.
Yeah. And each one has their own unique combat style. Like fighter, obviously, is a brawler. Then you have the gunslinger, who's the musketeer. The swordsman, obviously, a swords fighter, and then magician and puppeteer. Basically, you just go around different dungeons, I guess you can call them, fighting different individuals. The main selling point I liked about this game is like one, it's very straightforward, very easy to pick up. Like you do not need to know anything about the story or the lore. If you don't want to, you can invest it. But on top of that, the game is very accessible to newcomers, even if you've never played these type of games, especially if you've never played an MMORPG, which is very daunting to some people because they're always like, "Oh, the community is toxic."
Yeah, there's so many different methods of currency or farming methods that you got to search for or whatnot.
Yeah, this game does have those aspects. The only difference is that it kind of holds your hand a little bit as you're progressing through the main story. They literally stop the game and they tell you like, you've unlocked this. This is what it can do. They even highlight specific points and how to use what it is that you've just unlocked, and basically just rinse and repeat. But it's in a surprisingly not boring way because they kind of throw like different enemies at you, and the environment's slightly different. It's pretty. The dungeons are pretty straightforward. You won't get lost.
No, it's basically like point A to point B kind of thing. a lot of the missions, like how Ed says that they do hold your hand, they have side missions that teach you how to properly play the game if you need to. So, and they give you rewards completing those side missions,
Mm-hmm.
rewards that end up helping you out and on your journey to level up. Right now, the level cap is 60, and apparently once you hit level 60, that's when the quote unquote real game begins.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
one one of the big
They say that for like almost every MMORPG is like once you hit the level cap, that's when the real game begins.
Well, I think it's because they want you to familiarize yourself with the mechanics and everything.
Mhm.
Even Destiny did that once they started doing the more live service style. The one other aspect of this game, like Omar was saying, they will show you how to use everything that they give you, and they're very generous with a lot of stuff that they give you early in the game, whether it's crafting materials, weapons, gear, what have you. The RNG so far is pretty generous. Who knows if that'll change once you get to level 60? Because some games, the way they'll keep their audiences enthralled, they will reward them heavily early in the game.
Mhm.
It's called love bombing in the psychological term. But yeah, the
Mm.
game so far has been pretty fun. I haven't been bored of it. Like,
No,
Oh,
a lot of things that like one of the main concerns that people have with the game is that there's a stamina system. So each mission that you do, it requires the use of stamina. But after playing it myself for a while, I've only ever ran into the stamina limit once, and I've been playing it for about a week.
yeah,
Granted,
I haven't run into that yet.
yeah,
Like, I'll play
granted,
for an hour and I'm good.
the game is relatively new here worldwide because it came out earlier this month.
It
But
came out in May. Hmm.
yeah, but yeah, so the what from my understanding and from what I've experienced, the game makes you use stamina as a resource to play through the main story. But
Hmm.
there are other things to do once you run out of stamina. You could go out and explore the fields and like go farming for materials to level up your cooking skill, to level up your farming
Hmm.
skill, to get items, grind items, materials so you could unlock or craft your signature weapons and whatnot,
Yeah.
or just to explore the world. So I see the stamina system as more like the developers are trying to get you to not just beat the story all in one sitting. They want you to actually stop and enjoy the little knickknacks of the world itself that they have to
Hmm.
offer and try other gameplay styles, other modes of combat. Just explore what you can, take pictures of the characters, interact with other characters, other players, and it's
Yeah.
there's other resources that you can use to go and go farm in dungeons because they have different types of ways to explore and farm and raid and such. Again,
Hmm.
it's relatively new, so they don't have too much to offer at the moment. But what they do have to offer is enough to keep you occupied. I Today was my day off after like fucking 8 straight days of working, and I was playing after I took a fat nap. I was playing for about a couple of hours, and I haven't run out of stamina, but I joined into like two parties to run through a couple of dungeons, and they rewarded me with some really good materials, good like a good decent amount of in-game currency, and I got one of my first legendary items that I could wear.
Nice.
Because the purpose of the dungeon raiding is to try and get the all the items in that of armor from that class, that style, whatever.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
each class has branching classes that start off at level 15. So, and
Hmm.
the cool thing, the amazing thing is that from level 15 up until 45, when you get prompted to start your quote unquote quest, awakening quest,
Hmm.
between those levels, you have the option to play as any of the branching classes available to you so that you could find out which one suits your playstyle. Like for me, I'm the swordsman, and I have two branch classes in the swordsman class, and that's the Magic Blade and the Berserker. Berserker is more about heavy hitting, slow startups, but like high reward. You sacrifice your life for heavy shields and powerful attacks. Whereas the Magic Blade is more timing, fast paced battling, combo DPS kind of style. And that's actually my style of gameplay. So I didn't really need to test out the Berserker, but it gives you that option to switch between the two classes in between missions when you're like at the central hub, whatever, and with no penalty, no resource expenditure or anything like that. Plus, you could also reallocate your skill points
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you want, like again, between missions, you can reallocate your skill points anytime you want without any payment of whatsoever to suit your playstyle. So if you have the levels, you could spend all your points on one specific attack or skill until you max it out and however you want to play. And you could save different presets and loadouts. So
Mm-hmm.
to suit whatever playstyle you need, and then you could just switch it. So like let's say you have one particular loadout for PvE, but you need a specific loadout for PvP, which is actually pretty fun too.
Mm-hmm.
You could switch them out in between missions, like right when you're prepping before you go in. So there's a lot of freedom that the players have in order to choose how they want to play, how to create. The character customization is relatively limited at the moment,
Yeah.
but there are each class has their signature outfit that you no matter what armor piece you wear, it's not going to change. But they do have like an optional outfits like skins that you could wear, which also grant you your character's buffs, and you have the option of turning on or off the clothing skin.
Yeah, they have transmog.
Yeah, and you can still keep the buffs even if you have it turned off.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
It right now it's like really fun. After all this, I'm probably gonna play it up a little bit. The level cap for stamina, I think, is at 140 once you reach level 60,
Mm.
and it takes about 7 hours to recharge it from zero.
Yeah, so like by the end of the day, by you go to bed, you'll be good to go for the
Yeah,
next day.
exactly. So, like, you could play the game easily with no freaking paywall barriers for 2 3 hours, and you still have enough resource to go through missions and not worry about anything.
Yeah,
About
I haven't spent any money on it. Like
neither have I,
everything I've been
but
playing free.
same. But from the videos I've been watching, if you do start a secondary character, you have the option of buying a $15 like class up that will speed you up to I think if they said either level
Level
50,
50, I think.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. It boosts you right up in there, but
Yeah.
you get all the basic stuff that you need to be at level 50, so that way you could just drop into the core game of like the core concept of the game
Yeah.
without having to worry about the story.
Yeah.
But if you're like me and Ed, you'd like to start from the very beginning, from zero, and build up your character from there.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't mind. This is one of the few times I do not mind the grind. It's actually been pretty fun to do.
Yeah, and
And
it's
it's
very rewarding.
super rewarding, very easy. I think there was one time where I had difficulty fighting a boss, and even then it wasn't that difficult. It's because I didn't really take the fight seriously. And then I'm
Typical.
like, oh, maybe I should try. And then I beat him in the next one. The class I'm running right now is the fighter class with the subclass, not Starbreaker, the other one, Cloud
The
Strider.
Outsider.
So she's more like a Chung Li esque fighter, which is a little more technical. Her attacks are fluid, whereas Starbreaker is like the big heavy hitter. I do plan on making another character once I get my bearings with this one, simply because this is kind of gonna be my throwaway character. So
Yes.
any mistakes I make, I'm not gonna regret making them with this one. Although I'm not gonna lie, I am liking this character a lot. I was pleasantly surprised by it. And
Yeah.
then on top of that, like I said, like Omar said, that like a lot of stuff is still limited. But once we get to a certain point, maybe it'll start getting more stuff so you can do whatever it
Mhm.
is you need to do, especially when it comes to customization. Because if you know me and Omar, well, if you know Omar especially, he loves to customize his characters, and he always likes to spend hours making his character look
Yeah, like
a
we keep
specific way.
saying, Omar needs a game where it's just custom creation. That's it.
Yeah.
Actually, we wouldn't mind that either because we would like to use those as concepts for characters that he would like to implement to his stories and some of the stuff
Yeah,
he's
I would
working
use
on.
that to create my characters for Crusader arms or the Fat Sniper.
Exactly, yeah.
Uh,
So a game like that would be cool.
Yes,
yeah, I'm not
especially
saying it wouldn't, but I mean, unlike you guys, me, I I like to create my character, but I don't want too much stuff because it gets over
yeah, I
it gets oversaturated.
like sliders for like the nose death and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, I understand
yeah, just
that,
like give me some like basic features, allow me to change them up a little bit to see how I like it, and make it symmetrical and all that
Hmm.
good
yeah,
stuff. And then I'm ready to go. I'm ready to jump in and start playing because I don't know. I just want to get into the meat and potatoes of the game when I start playing. That's just
For
me
sure,
though.
yeah. No, yeah, I get where you're coming from. But either way, and actually, the customization in the game is pretty simple, so you don't really have to invest too much in it. But as far as like colors goes, they're pretty like they have like four different colors to pick from. But either way, it's still a pretty good game to pick up. If
Oh,
you,
another thing that I wanted to say throughout, well, you know how Ed said that his character is very Chun Li. My character, my subclass, the Magic Blade, is very Virgil from Devil May Cry. So,
nice.
so that's why I like it. But one cool thing, again, it giving you the freedom to experience the game. When you first start the game, you know how most MMOs or RPGs give you that demo level.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You start off as the swordsman, so you could the base swordsman. You could try out his attacks and skills, and then while progressing through the level, you switch characters into the puppeteer, which is a little girl with a scythe, but she has a like a puppet who hovers around her. So you're basically two characters as one.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And then after a bit more time, you switch over to the musketeer, which is a female gunslinger, and you get to test out the swordsman, the musketeer, the puppeteer, and the magician classes before you choose. The only one you don't get to test out is the fighter,
Mm-hmm.
but the fighter is very like basic punch and kick kind of thing. So
Yeah.
that's one of the really cool things I like about this game so far is that newcomers, I like how Ed said, if you don't know how to play these types of games, or if it's not your style, it gives you a little sample of what class you could want to pick as if it suits your play style from the very beginning.
You
Mm-hmm.
know what? As far as like people who don't know like how or these games aren't really like for them, you can never go wrong with a simple strength build. Okay, folks, you just go in there and bonk it, and it dies. Okay,
That'll
keep
be
it
the
There you
fighter.
simple.
go. Mm-hmm.
That'll be
Keep
the
it.
fighter.
That's all you
Mm-hmm.
like. If like, but like, I mean, that's the strength build. It's just pure and simple, and nothing is ever complicated with it. You just put all your strength, all your stats into high defense and high strength.
Yeah. Yeah, one other concept of the game is like it is literally a button smasher, but it's an oddly technical button
Mm-hmm.
smasher. Whereas your main combat button is just one button. If you're on the five, it's is square. If you're on PCs, I think the click you click the left stick, the left clicker on the on your mouse. But every attack can be combined with, I guess you can call it an art or an ability that each character has that is unique to them, which,
Mm-hmm.
like Omar said, you can unlock, level up, make them stronger. And as you're combining these attacks, you get different combos out of them.
You could
Like
chain them together in
you
different
can chain them
orders,
together in insane manners, get some insane combos
and
out of nowhere, all from just tapping the attack button and then combining it with these abilities.
and the cool thing is that rather than having like a magic system or a stamina system, they're
It's a
on
cooldown.
cooldown timers.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on the stats or the armor that you're currently wearing and whatever boosts you have, those cooldown timers can go down really fast, and you could easily just
Spam it, yeah.
just
And
spam it,
and
just combine it all, and it's super flashy, super amazing. It's again,
and oddly fluid.
it's very Devil May Cry in terms of combat, but
Yeah.
very simplified as well. Which
And,
is Matt, you and I are both technical fighters. We like to play those types of combo style games. So you'll enjoy
Yeah,
it if you ever play on PC or phone, or if you end up getting a PS5.
maybe it'll be on the Switch too.
Maybe.
maybe.
But yeah, it's easy for beginners. It's great for experienced players, and there's going to be enough fun for everybody in that game. From what I've played so far, granted,
Mm-hmm.
again, it's only been about a week, maybe 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And like with all MMOs, you can create clans, but in this one, they're called fleets instead of guilds, where you each
Yeah.
have an airship. I was recently made captain of a fleet that I joined because no one else has been playing except me.
Nice.
Wait, you're in charge of people? Holy shit!
Apparently, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But no, again, so far the game is pretty great. Again, it's simplified enough for new players to experience. There's really no downside to just trying it out. It's a free to play game.
Yeah, you don't lose anything by trying it because again, it is you can pay, but you don't have to.
Exactly.
Well,
They're not forcing any of those money transactions down your throat. They give you prompts here and there, but
Yeah.
yeah, but they do reward you for at least logging in. and
Yeah,
then they
you get your
reward
dailies.
and yeah, do your dailies. Even like when you're completing the main story after maybe 2 or 3 missions, you automatically level up like at least 1 or 2 levels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I was able to level up so fast. Again, I'm at level 55. I end up unlocking one of the skills I've been waiting for a long time, which
Mm-hmm.
is basically the Magic Blades version of Virgil's Judgment Cut.
Of course it is. I had a feeling it was
Yeah,
that too.
but the fact that it's at level 55 rather than one of the earlier levels, but like I said, I had to spend skill points on skills that I didn't like. But as soon as I unlocked skills that I did like using and that fit more my playstyle, I was able to take those skill points out of the ones I don't use and
Mm-hmm.
feed them into the ones I do use. So now the gameplay combat style is really customizable, tailored to how you as a player would play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So again,
Definitely check it out, folks.
just try out Crystal of Atlan. On we're not sponsored by it, but I've been trying to find an MMORPG game that lets me play that fluidly, like
Mm-hmm.
Devil May Cry. The closest one I could think of is Fantasy Star Online 2, New
Yeah.
Genesis, but that got pretty boring after a while, and it got super massive. And I'm talking about data wise.
Yeah. Not to
And
mention all the gotcha paywalls.
yeah, all the paywalls and all that. So it's just like, plus it's been too long since I played. I'm so far behind in PSO.
Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, like me, I'm not super huge on MMORPGs just because, like, I think this goes for all of them. They do become stagnant at some sort of point
yeah,
because it's like the idea behind them is for them to be played continuously, so they're kind of limited in terms of like story mechanics, wherever the case may be, and they do get super repetitive. But like I think the one that was for me was Fantasy Star 2 New Genesis. And that's just because of like how like the combat was just so anime. It's
yeah.
like
So,
super over the top. You can do all
but
this wild and crazy shit. But
then if you do get this game, Matt, you will love it because it's the combat is like that. Grant, again, it's still new. They uh, they don't have too much in terms of story at the moment, but they do have plenty to offer. And
right.
of course, there's going to be updates. From what I heard, there's going to be an assassin class that's going to be added sometime down the line,
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
and then there's going to be a collab with One Punch Man based off their Instagram.
Ooh.
Oh. But
Nice.
what I also would like to say to folks out there is I truly believe there's a in every genre there's a game for somebody.
Exactly.
So let's say you don't like survival horrors at all, but then let's say one day, for whatever reason, you decide to sit down and play Evil Within 2. And then you just fall in love with it. You may not like anything else, but you at least have that. And so I say, yeah, go out and try new stuff. Try this that Omar and Ed are recommending. I would have tried it if it was on PS4 because
Who
Honestly,
knows?
I'm surprised it's not on the 4. It
It,
doesn't it doesn't look like it's a very demanding game.
it's not, but I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe they might end up releasing it because again, it did just come out worldwide
Mm-hmm.
on these consoles. So just give it maybe another month or two. The
Mm-hmm.
demand or the word of this game really is relatively low at the moment
Mm-hmm.
because
There's
their
not that
Instagram
much content on it on the
not
internet
yet.
for it right now.
So I'm gonna try and record some gameplay and upload it on YouTube. See
I
if it
already
helps.
uploaded a couple of shorts, so if you guys
Yeah,
want to check those out
yeah,
my
your
channel, you
shorts
can.
aren't really gameplay though. They're for more of the aesthetics of
aesthetics,
stuff.
Matt. The
Ass
aesthetics.
Yeah, the
aesthetics.
aesthetics.
Also, this game does have waifus in it, so yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, this is the reason why Ed likes it. It's the only reason why.
No,
Yeah.
it's not the only reason. I could
Hey,
generally say it was part of
Skystone,
the
come
gameplay.
sponsor us.
Yeah,
Skystone is
sponsors Skystone Games.
yes,
Those are the developers.
they're the production company of this game. So go ahead, just try out Crystal of Atlan, sponsor Skystone Games because I want to play some more content on it. Maybe I'll post up more videos.
Hell yeah.
It's pretty fun, and from like I usually play in the middle of the night, so I don't want to like blast out my TV. But the combat music sounds pretty good from what I hear.
Yeah, I haven't really listened to the game at all. Like I usually play it on a low sound when I'm playing because I'm
This is
either
why I
watching
wear
TV
my
or doing something else.
headphones.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I
I
don't know where my headset's at. It's
uh,
still probably in storage
In
somewhere.
storage, yeah. But
But
yeah.
yeah.
it is partially voice acted. Like even your main character has a voice
They
during.
do.
So they're just not like grunting or
No,
going
no, no.
like,
Yeah,
oh.
yeah, no. They actually have a voice. They have character. They have like a personality.
That was a good
It's
one, man.
yeah.
That was a good one. But yeah,
There are
definitely check
some.
it out, folks. You won't regret it. And like Omar said, you have nothing to lose. It'll take like 20 minutes to install if you're on the 5 minutes if you're on the PC because it's a relatively easy install. My laptop can handle it fairly easily, but it's not that old, so maybe just look at your
Yeah,
requirements.
my
And
phone
if
can
you
handle the game
and
easily.
if you're on mobile, definitely try it better on mobile because I feel like since most mobile games are optimized to work on almost any mobile device nowadays.
I
It'll
can't.
probably be
I can't do mobile.
it'll probably be your best
I
bet.
think my thumbs aren't just suited for.
You have
I
an Android, right? You know
I
you can
do,
cast it
but
onto you can cast it on the TV.
uh,
Yeah.
and then I think you could use controller
Yeah,
support
you can pair
on the
control.
mobile.
I was able to use controller on the PC version as well as the 5 has controller. But yeah, definitely check it out, folks. If you do check it out, let us know what you think about it. I'm gonna go ahead and split this part into an entire episode of us just doing a review, Omar. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna do the
that'd be a
whole
good
thing
idea.
together, but I'm also gonna split this part and do it into a review of it, and we're gonna go ahead and post it on Sunday. So we're gonna have 2 episodes for that. We got
Perfect.
a review out of this one.
Well,
So,
dude,
but
this is like gynecologist long.
yeah, yeah.
Ed, how many stars out of 10 would you give Crystal Batland?
So far like 3, maybe 3.5. Like I
Out of
said,
10?
it's out of 10, give it a 7, a solid 7, because
I'd
it
give it.
has a lot of good stuff, but it's still like I'm still like getting into it. I'm still learning everything.
Yeah, since I am ahead of you, I would give it like about a 7.5 and 8. Is
Yeah.
That's
again,
awfully high for like a brand new game.
Well, considering that
Well,
like
I think
they.
it's I think like the 7.5 is a little bit more modest.
hmm
yeah, because but remember, Matt, like I said, I'm trying to find like an MMO with like good action combat, and right now
hmm
Okay.
this action combat has been what I've been itching for the longest time.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the Devil May Cry combat without having to worry about a style system or like a style point meter or whatever.
Right.
It's over the top, it's flashy, it's smooth, it's
Although they do
fluid.
have ratings at the end of every mission.
Yeah, I do. I would normally get like double S's or triple S's.
uh
I don't know. I kind of like the system in Devil May Cry.
Well, yeah, because it gives you motivation to keep trying to be all flashy and stuff like
Yeah.
Not only that, it gives you motivation to learn the mechanics, like to truly get to know the mechanics of the game.
hmm
well, that's what this game does too. Like it gives you like missions specific to teach you how to use the mechanics
hmm
of certain moves once you unlock it.
Yeah.
Like let's say that one of your moves has like a cooldown system. Well, not a cooldown, but like a time delay where you had to, if you press it at a certain time, you could build up a meter. But if you stop and you start attacking more, you build up more of the meter, and then the next version of that first attack gets more powerful.
Yeah, there's also certain attacks that will change the element of another attack.
Mm-hmm.
So for instance, if you have an attack that shoots projectiles, you can use one other attack that'll turn those projectiles into ice or fire or whatever that element that is tied to that other attack.
It'll give you training missions
Okay.
that you can
Yeah.
do to
Yeah,
teach
I
you
mean,
those.
like we said, it's a very easy game to pick up. Like it's a button mashing game, but it's surprisingly technical. Like oddly
Yeah,
technical.
but I mean, for me, I got Sekiro, and to me, that has
No,
like some
Sekiro.
that game has some of the
Nah, that's
best.
nothing,
Uh,
nothing to do
I'm
with
just
it.
saying combat, just the combat
Yeah.
in itself. It's probably the greatest combat system you're gonna find in modern video games. That's what I'm saying.
Mm,
Think about how fast paced it is, and you can literally block
but it's
everything.
insanely, yeah, but it's insanely technical, yeah.
It is insanely technical
But this
because you
one
got
is
to
like,
parry at the right time.
this one is like insanely easy, but somehow still oddly technical. Like some
Okay.
of the techniques that you want to get certain combos to come out the certain way, you have to remember either which hits or moves go with what, which ones
Mm-hmm.
pair with what, and then which element you want to come out. You need to use that to release that other attack to make it into whatever it is you're trying to make it come out as. But definitely check it out, folks. Let us know what you think in the comments. If you've been listening to the episode this entire time, we thank you. We salute you. We probably won't. This is what happens when the three of us get together. It's like really, really long, nothing random conversations. But let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments. If you're on YouTube, leave a like, give a follow. Same thing with Spotify. You can reach us at Instagram at the Media Buff Podcast. We will definitely answer any messages you have. If you have questions, concerns, any recommendations, if you have anything you'd like to address, let us know. And as always, make sure you check out Maono because those are our go-to guys. Use code word Media Buff to get 10% off your first purchase. Summer sale is underway, so they have items marked up to 25% off right now. If you use our code with that, you get an additional 10% off. So
Ooh,
definitely check.
35% off is a lot.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's free shipping over orders 100 and above. So
Can't beat that.
yeah, hell yeah. So as always, thank you for tuning in, and we will talk to you all next time.
Goodbye, everybody.
Have a good night. Make sure you stay cool out there, yeah? Drink that water, Ed. Yeah, you drink that water. Yeah, good boy.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Gross. I need an adult.